It is game week, baby. I am so pumped. I'm literally like jumping through the ceiling with excitement for this Michigan-Ohio State game. And I'll tell you what, it's just starting to perturb me a little bit how much the narrative has kind of changed in the national media. Even Michigan-Ohio State fans, right? 2 weeks ago, everybody was confident Michigan was going to kick Ohio State's butt. You look at comparable opponents, all that stuff. Then, okay, cool, the Penn State game happens, but Michigan kind of struggles in a lot of different ways, gets a one-score victory over Maryland. And now, all of a sudden, people are gambling on Ohio State. All the Ohio State fans are confident. I'm seeing Michigan fans saying, well, I don't know. And I think it's going to come down to, I think it's coming down to two factors, this change in sentiment over the last 3 or 4 days. It is, number one, hey, without Jim Harbaugh, this hasn't looked like the same team. I'll readily admit that. And then J.J. McCarthy, right? What does he look like without Jim Harbaugh as his head coach? That was a challenge as well. But has anything changed on the Ohio State front? We've got the running back, TreVeyon Henderson, back. I think he's the number one key to this game for Michigan to stop him. But has anything really changed? Aren't they the same team that they were a month ago or 2 months ago when everyone said Michigan's going to kick their butts? They are. Now, it's all going to come down to whether or not this team can play, this Michigan team can play the same level that they did under Jim Harbaugh the last 3 seasons. And for the most part of his tenure as a Michigan football head coach, outside of maybe the early few Ohio State-Michigan games, most notably 2015, 2018, and 19. I think 2016 was right there. JT was short. 2017, you had Ohio State on the ropes. You had a 14-point lead at one point with John O'Korn as your quarterback. Let's keep it rolling here, guys. Let's get going here, guys. Let up the chat, right? Let's get some Bosas in the chat. Let's get some Go Blues in the chat. I see my guy A-Train 132. What is going on? My brother, how are you today? They are watching us all over the state of Michigan and other parts of the country. Ashley Lawson. Ashley, did you get the helmet yet? Did you get your Michigan football helmet in the mail? It should have arrived either today or tomorrow. I got the shipping updates. I think it was going to be either Tuesday or Wednesday this week. So let me know. Ashley won a helmet last week. We got Green Arrow with the Bosa. We got Brent DeVries, the tax man. Whoa. We heard from the tax man here today at Chat Sports a little bit too. You guys inceptioning us? Tax man, multiple time viewer. Tax man's in every show anyways, but we always make that same joke. Nick Barton with the Go Blue. Judy Jordan, Go Blue. Green Arrow again. So you got Go Blues, you got Bosas. I got my man, Tim Baker. I couldn't see, by the way, John Blaze and I, we connected via cell phone. Jeff Ruhr, I see you. Iceman Comp 25 with a Go Blue. John Blaze Wolverine and I were in and around each other. We were only sitting a section apart at the Michigan-Maryland game on Saturday. And, okay, can't sync up there. He's in the seats. I'm like, we're not going to do that. Let's meet somewhere because traffic was crazy after the game. It's one of these small college town environments, yet they can't figure out traffic. It's absolutely insane. And John was stuck in the parking garage for what seemed to be hours. It took me and my friend Matt like 3.5 hours after the game to go to the 25 minutes back to his house because we had to wait for an Uber. It was like 40 minutes to get an Uber, 50 minutes to get an Uber. It was crazy. And the traffic never died out, so we ended up walking 30 minutes to like a residential neighborhood of a college town to finally get an Uber. And then it was 45 minutes to drive back. It was just insane traffic in the D.C. area. So John Blaze and I, unfortunately, were not able to sync up because it would have been magical. John, I'll see you in Houston. There's Ashley Lawson with a $10 super chat. Sam Struper had a $2 super chat right there. Let's see what Sam said. It says, just want to say, just beat Ohio State. 2 beats. Just beat, then beat them again. Knock them into the ground, and then beat them bludgeoningly. Just beat Ohio State again, and again. The third again we're going for in a row. Ashley Lawson, do you think we intentionally played soft for the last 2 weeks just to get in Ohio State's head? I know he had minor injuries, but, I mean, that would be the long con. You'd really have to not think too much of those two opponents, especially without Jim Harbaugh, to get there. So, no, but I would probably guess that there were times in both games where they said, we don't have to pull out all the stops. We don't have to run that deep play to Cornelius Johnson after he comes in the orbit motion to score a touchdown. We don't necessarily have to have Donovan Edwards throw a 40, 50-yard touchdown pass to Roman Wilson like they're going to this week against Ohio State because they didn't need it to win, but potentially played softer. I doubt it because there were certainly times in both games where Michigan, with player 2 here or there, could have lost the game. Let's take a look at the Super Chat menu. We've got Super Chat, any $1 amount, dollar or higher, you get on the show. You'll get a shout out and you'll get your question answered. $5, support the show with the beers. Cheers. We've got no free ads. I'm covering it up, but you guys know what I'm drinking here.
But maybe soon.
Maybe soon, yeah. We got some things to work for maybe 2024 on the alcohol front. Beers Cheers, support the show, $5 super chat. Hard Hat Club. So this has been the staple of the show for about a year now, right around this week, about last year. So the Hard Hat Club, give some shout outs here. I'll tell the rest of the thing. So $50, I will prank call an Ohio State fan. I'll prank call them. And I'll basically just swear at them, tell them Michigan's going to kick their butt. Maybe I'll start it the phone like, hey, man, can you do me a favor? Here's the favor. Watch the game on Saturday because Michigan's going to kick Ohio. I'll do something like that. I'll act like it's a normal call. I've got a few friends from high school, college. My nephew, he's like 16 years old. He's probably whining and crying because he knows Ohio State's going to get their butts kicked. $100, Jack. Brad, I didn't actually bring the beer bong in, so we get a $100 super chat. You will have to grab it. I didn't bring it in there. We'll have to go get it.
I have to do more work for you today?
I have to do more work for you. So let me give some shout outs from last week's super chatters. Derek Ackerman and DJ Ackerman, 2023. You know what? I grabbed the wrong hat. This isn't the one from last week. So
I got to go get something else.
Well, if you see one that's half filled in the office, get that one. This is one from September. Why don't you tell the people
about Prize Picks?
Yeah, let me tell the people about Prize Picks, Brett. While Brett goes and gets the helmet here in just one moment. The Michigan Football Report is presented by Prize Picks, folks. I've been playing Prize Picks all football season long, and I'm not even a daily fantasy sports guy. I've never enjoyed it in the past. Prize Picks changed all that for me, and it's super fun. The picks take me less than 60 seconds to get every single time I launch the app, and it's super easy. You just choose more or less for the stats that they put in front of you, and they even offer a reboot policy. So if your entries stay in, even if one of your players gets injured in the first half for football or basketball games, if a player that you pick in your Prize Pick gets injured in the first half and they don't come back for the second half, they are taken out of the entry, and it keeps rolling on. That's why Prize Picks is so awesome. It's very simple to play. I can make my picks in under 60 seconds, and I just choose more or less on the stats that they put in front of me. Now, let me go through some of the picks here at Chat Sports. The guys sent me their picks for this Sunday. I got more on Christian McCaffrey, right? He's going to score a touchdown rushing or receiving, and more on Sam Howell from the Commanders, 257.5 yards. Passing coming up on Sunday. Let's see what else the guys of the company are picking. All right. Ooh, a little Aiden O'Connell, Coldridge Stroud combo. What do you think about this one here, Brett? Aiden O'Connell, the Las Vegas Raiders, less than 212 passing yards.
This one.
You what? Like this one too. We saw O'Connell. I mean, he's a Purdue quarterback, right? Yeah. And then Coldridge Stroud. I don't know about that more. I think this weekend, Coldridge Stroud. He's going to throw for a lot of yards, but they're going to lose.
Well, yeah, but that's the more.
I know. So I think you're right. He's going to throw for a lot of yards, so we'll support this pick, but they're going to love, just like he always does. Ashley, the $20 super chat. A couple more of these ones. We got Brian Robinson Jr., more than 41.5 yards. We got Jordan Love with more than 235.5 yards? Okay, that's normal. And then Jake Ferguson, more than 37.5 receiving yards. Those are the prize picks of some of the guys here around Chat Sports. Get a $100 deposit match with Prize Picks if you use prizepicks.com/CLNS. That's prizepicks.com/CLNS. Get going with Prize Picks. We're going to put the link in the live chat here in a moment. It's also right there. It's been at the bottom of the screen. prizepicks.com/CLNS. Use promo code CLNS to get up to a $100 first deposit match. Trust me, guys, I wouldn't play Prize Picks this much unless I've had a ton of fun playing it almost every single Monday, Thursday, Sunday for the NFL, and every single Saturday for college football. My guy, Cody Mountford, a hard hat member for over a year now, comes in with a $2 super chat. He says, Corum and Edwards need to get it going early. #Bo. So that's one of my things that this game is going to come down to. Not necessarily those guys getting it going early, but I think it's going to come down to a running game. And that's been the case the last 2 seasons. And we'll show you coming up here later in the show. It's really been the case of this rivalry for years, not just to mention the last 5 years, when the team who rushes for more is who ends up winning this ball game. I think in a lot of ways, the fact that Ohio State was so strong passing the ball the last couple years, Jim Harbaugh finally changed the defensive approach, post down Brown, is that they let them get whatever they wanted in between the 20s, locked it down, almost baited Ohio State into running the ball more. Passing the ball more. And they did that 2/3 of the clip. So coming up on Saturday, what I think Michigan needs to do, they need to stop TreVeyon Henderson. That's number one. Force Kyle McCord to throw. Let the Ohio State defense, show you some stuff. Take what they're going to give you the first quarter. But once you get into second and third quarter, this offensive line, Blake Corum, the Don, they have got to impose their will if Michigan's going to get their 3rd straight win. $20 super chat coming in from Ashley Lawson. That's one of the super chat menus, right, Brett? What do we say for that one for $20 in the super chat menu? You have to scroll back. Oh, that's 50. Okay. Got you. I thought that might be a prank call.
Last week.
Okay,
It's
got
up
it.
to 50 because,
It's Ohio State week.
Yeah.
Ohio State week.
It's a big week.
It is a big week. So Ashley Lawson says, life's hard. Got my helmet. Thank you so much, James. Ashley, if you're on Twitter or Instagram, send me a photo. DM me a photo of you holding up the helmet. We'll put it on the show either today or maybe on later on in the week. Let's get these predictions for this score. Thank you so much to Ashley Lawson, one of our helmet winners from last week's show. She got her helmet. She's going to send me a photo for the $20 super chat. Thank you for that. Let's get our score predictions. Michigan, Ohio State. We are about 20-plus minutes away from the college football playoff top 25 coming out. I think we could fit in a Michigan football Ohio State preview before then. So we get a sip here.
You got some beers, cheers.
We're having some fun. Oh, yeah, I do have a couple beers cheers. So I've got what? One for, I guess I got 4 for Ashley. 4 for Ashley.
Or 2 stickers. It's like a Costco deal.
It is like a Costco deal. You're getting both. So prediction scores, I'll give shouts and tell you what people are predicting.
I got
you
it.
guys can
There you
see it. Go ahead, Brent, while I get Ashley her super chat.
35-24, Mark 32-10, go blue. Florida Knox 31-17. Ryan, he's an Ohio State fan. So should I ban him?
Maybe.
Maybe. Ashley goes 38-21. You want mine?
Yeah, what's Brett's?
No, I'm not giving it to you.
Oh, come on.
Vito 28-24. No, we got to get more people in chat. You know what? We need 100 likes.
Yep.
We get 100 likes. We're going to need more people to get to 100 likes, but once we get there, you'll get my prediction.
Ashley, we got Ashley Lawson on the helmet once again. All right, let's get a likes up as we've got 125 people live. Chat rate's pretty low though.
Yep.
Right,
That's why we need to get those score predictions.
15 people there, so we'll give more. Where we leave off there, Brett? Luther Sanders 28-17, Patrick Brewer 35-17. Did you get Vito?
Yep.
Okay, you got Vito. So I left. Phil Newsom, 32-24. We got a $5 coming in from Cody.
There it is.
Super chat. Go Blue. Logan DeGraff. All my homies love Yoder. Much love for you, Logan. Shout out to the homies. Cody Mountford with the $5 says, I say open it up to get play action to get JJ in rhythm. I believe JJ getting in the rhythm will be what wins us the game. Happy holidays to you. Happy holidays to you, Cody. I hope you have a great Thanksgiving and hope the Thanksgiving fun and enjoyment continues on for about 48 hours after Thanksgiving all the way through Saturday and you are enjoying yourself a Michigan football victory. Let's hear some cities. Let's see where you guys are watching from. Shout out your city here in the live chat. Give the first 15, 20 people a shout out where you are watching from. See where you guys coming. As I see Joe Boo with a $1.99 super chat.
It's a great movie, at least.
Yeah,
Major League.
You saying Joe Boo? What's the line? I'm forgetting. It's like you saying Jesus Christ. There's Joe Boo. I'm missing the whole lineup. Jesus Christ, Joe Boo's messing me up.
I don't really remember it now that you've messed it up for me.
Yeah.
Joe Boo, no help with fastball.
Yeah, it's Jesus. I like him very much, but he no help with fastball.
Yeah, that's what it is.
And then it's the scene. It's like,
But Joe
hey,
Boo-
bartender, Joe Boo needs a refill, and the guy, launched the bat on accident because it's bad karma. That's Joe Boo coming in hot.
Joe Boo here, though, must be an Ohio State fan.
Yeah, will Harbaugh be wearing an ankle monitor? Sad. He's going to be monitoring the amount of yards that Michigan racks up on Ohio State. If they hit 300, he's going to have to sit down and take 10 deep breaths because, he just doesn't want to get too excited. He's almost 60 years old at this point, so thank you so much, Joe Boo. I like Jesus Christ. I like Joe Boo. Joe Boo, no help with Ohio State's running game or defense coming up on Saturday.
I feel like that was a better one than the first one you had.
Yeah. Well, that's actually.
All right, let's get some of these.
The Taxman with a 38-24 prediction. So Zaire's watching from Detroit, the D. They're watching us in Sterling Heights, Michigan, says Green Arrow. St. Clair Shores is Vito. Mike Layton, my guy, is in Ann Arbor. Brian Curtis, Columbus, unfortunately, could be a nice place to live 8 months a year, not football season, though. Frostburg, Maryland is where Patrick Brewer is watching us from. Grand Rapids from Ryan. I missed that one. Ryan Stanson. Mark Schwartz. Kindy is how you pronounce it, Michigan. Luther Sanders, Vidor, Texas. You know where that's at, Brett? I don't know where that's at. We are in Dallas, Texas. Go Blue from Joe Kruger. He says, Yoder, what's the stat? TC says, Yoder, what's the stats on Roman Wilson? Look, I think he's going to play, but I sat here and told you on the same information last year that Blake Corum was going to play against Ohio State. He got in for 3 snaps and then was maybe 2 snaps early and then was down for the kneel down last year. He wasn't a factor, didn't play at all really against Ohio State. So I think we'll know more on Friday. I think we'll know more on Friday. And if you guys remember, I put a video out last year on Friday. I was just looking at our content from this week. Did like 60,000 views with the word that Blake Corum was not going to be, I guess, impactful player. He might full strength, that he might suit up, but he wasn't going to be the starting running back. Put that out on Friday at like 8 o'clock at night, less than 15 hours or so, 16 hours before the game. So keep shouting out your city. Tampa, Florida, from Florida, Knox. We're going to do the whole preview or a quick preview? Let's do the whole preview. Let me get to my spot in the thing. All right. I will get a couple more shout-outs. Justin Sykes from Toledo, Ohio. Let's do it. I think, Brett, if we get hit with the top 25, guys, as we are 13 minutes away, 12 minutes away from the top 25 potentially being revealed, we'll pause the preview, and we'll kind of finish up where we left off, and then we'll cut it afterwards so we can put it up on the channel. Ashley Lawson.
Big chapsticks, gotcha.
I am a big chapstick guy. Michael Davis from Mandeville, Louisiana. Ashley Coleman coming in from Colma, Michigan. Joe Brew, he says, don't touch his rum. If you touch Joe Brew's rum, he lets go with somebody lets go with a bat, hits you in the head. Bad news. Wyoming, Michigan from Tim Baker. You guys want to do the preview as we are waiting the college football top 25 rankings? No expectation other than Michigan should remain number 3. We'll see what the CFP committee puts for us. It is the Michigan Football Report. Let's get into our Michigan-Ohio State mega preview right now. Michigan is a 3.5-point favorite over Ohio State. 4-point favorites back in 2018. That didn't turn out well, but I think the vibes that we're going to put out on this show today, the vibes that you, if you're going to the game, are going to put out at Michigan Stadium, just like in 2021, just like in 1997, are going to catapult Michigan to another Big Ten championship and, like 97, third state victory, national championship. If you guys would like to beat Ohio State again, this is the one that counts. This is the one, if you're sitting there Saturday afternoon and Ohio State wins, if you don't like the video and you are a Michigan football fan, it's your fault. I hope you have a terrible day. So don't put out bad karma, right? I'm putting out bad karma by saying it. So let's put out the good vibes, the vibes. Hit that like button. If you'd like to beat Ohio State, again, beat Ohio State again, Bosa, give the video a like. It has worked like 32 of 33 times. I frankly credit this little exercise plus the beat Ohio State again slogan for a lot of Michigan success. It's me, Connor Stallions, and of course, it's the great play of the players and you, the lovely viewing audience. So hit that like on this video. Let's keep it rolling here on the Michigan Football Report, our preview and prediction for this mega matchup. This game that is so just exciting and so anticipated, it's tough to put it into words. I think back to 2006. We were waiting on that game 1 versus 2, which got a little more cachet than 2 versus 3 like we had in 2016. And in 2022, it was, 2 versus 4 or 5 in 2021. But I am calling this one because of everything that's going on off the field. Harbaugh, 2 years in a row. I, folks, am calling this one of the greatest games in college football history, but from a perspective of the regular season. If I'm thinking about going back to 2006, both those teams were coming off okay years in 2005, and the year after Ohio State won the national championship, but Michigan didn't. But this is a 3-year run for these teams where both teams were win and you were in the playoffs. Win, and this game is going to change your season. So I am calling it the game of the century. You can leave that off the screen, Brett, if you don't want it. We'll come back to it here in a second. I think the off-field drama, the Michigan's last 2 wins, no Harbaugh, and the fact that this is the final game of the traditional Big Ten season makes this the most anticipated regular season game, not just in the history of this rivalry, in the history of college football. Michigan, 11-0. 8-0 in the Big Ten, same record as Ohio State. The Buckeyes have the number 24 scoring offense in America. 1-2 of these teams are in scoring defense, and Michigan has the number 11 scoring offense in the country. The over-under in this one's 46.5, right? I think, I'm going to tell you my score prediction here in this show, but I think that we might go a tad over. Even though this defense is the top 2 scoring defense of the country, I think we might see little fireworks from both of these teams. Guys, if you've been with us for the last 3 seasons, pushing this team to victory, supporting this team with the chant, we're focusing on Ohio State, beat Ohio State again, comment it over and over. Make sure that you realize the effort you put into the Bosas on this show, either live or on Wednesday. We're going to put this preview up on demand. Whatever effort you put in, that's the effort you're going to get from these Michigan football players coming up on Saturday. I'm going to be commenting Bosa, Bosa, Bosa. I'm going to do it right now in the live chat. I'm going to do it in the video on demand. Comment it over and over. Make sure the players are feeling the love and you are putting out the good vibes with this program. Let's take a look at the comparisons. Let's start with offense. Where does Michigan have the advantage? Where does Ohio State have the advantage? What are my thoughts on position by position of Ohio State versus Michigan? Where do we want to start? Start with the offense, start with the quarterbacks, okay? Let's talk about quarterbacks. It is J.J. McCarthy. It is Kyle McCord in this one. And I was a little surprised after J.J. hasn't thrown a touchdown pass in the month of November so far. Had a big game against Purdue, and then last 2 weeks not so much. Let's take a look at their stats here. All right, Kyle McCord has thrown for 2,899 yards so far this season. 22 total touchdowns for McCord, 21 for JJ. Has not thrown a touchdown in the month of November, but it's got some on the ground, okay. Both players have 4 interceptions. JJ McCarthy just threw his 4th this past Saturday and the first half against Maryland. I thought McCarthy was going to break the record for Michigan touchdowns, right? 18 touchdown passes at the end of October. He's still stuck on 18, but if you look at just the stats, you might say, oh, wow, Kyle McCord, he's got the big-time receiver. He's got some stats that look really good. He is the better quarterback. But I think anyone who has watched both teams play the past 11 games, which I've seen every snap of both players this entire season, and saw what J.J. McCarthy has done last year in this game, in other games, I think it's no question, at least in my opinion, that Michigan has the leg up and they have the check mark for me when we come to the quarterback position. So I'm giving Michigan the edge at the quarterback role. How about running back? All right. You've got quite a few guys on both teams that have a lot of playing experience. You got Chip Trayanum. I think Mayan Williams from Ohio State is injured for the season, so we're not going to see him. Right? Trayanum was the guy last year. TreVeyon Henderson missed this game with injury, but he was a starting running back 2 years ago in the 2021 season. Blake Corum, Donovan Edwards, of course, from Michigan. Kalel Mullings, will he make an impact like he did last year? Tough to say. Now, what's his name? TreVeyon Henderson, right? TreVeyon Henderson came back from injury. He was injured basically, let's call it, the entire month of October. He was a difference maker in the game against Notre Dame for Ohio State. But after he came back from an injury, he has throttled Ohio State's 4 opponents, right? Going back to last week against Minnesota at home, 15 carries, 146 yards, 10 yards per carry, 2 touchdowns. Prior to that, only played really the first half, 63 yards on 13 carries against Michigan State and a touchdown. Against Rutgers 3 weeks ago, 22, 128, 6 yards per carry, a touchdown, and 80 receiving yards. And against Wisconsin, the last week of October, 24 carries for 162 and a touchdown, averaging 6.8 yards per carry. So he is my number one area to focus on for this Michigan team. If TreVeyon Henderson, I say, reaches just 100 yards, I think that's enough for Ohio State to win this game, because that means Ohio State's offensive line is controlling the game. They're controlling the momentum. They are dominating what I think is the deepest Michigan defensive line of my entire life. So that is the take there on TreVeyon Henderson. How about the rushing battle, though, overall with these two teams? Last 5 years, it's as simple as this sometimes. Go back 2022 to 2018, the last 5 games, not 2020, that's 20, I think we got those years messed up, so 2017. 2022, that would be 2019, 17, and 18, those last 3. But last 5 games, and you go back prior to this, it is even more than that. The team who rushes for better stats, who has the most rushing yards in this game, ends up winning it. So my take is, it's clear that a dominant passing game is fun for fans to watch, but I think it's much less important, especially in this game, and maybe it doesn't really matter sometimes until you get up against teams that you don't play a ton. Like, I think a dominant passing game could really help Michigan against a Georgia. I think a running game will help there. But a dominant passing game is much less important than people think. I'll ask you guys this question. Who is the better running back right now? Blake Corum or TreVeyon Henderson? The Michigan running back, Blake Corum, give me a BC in the live chat. If you think it's TreVeyon Henderson, the Ohio State running back, give me a TH. I want to know what you guys are thinking here on the Michigan Football Report. And while we're there, I'm going to tell you guys about our sponsor, and that is Prize Picks. Guys, I've been playing Prize Picks all season long. It is super easy. It is super fun. It's the easiest way to play daily fantasy sports. Pick more or less on player stats that they put in front of you, and you can up to 25 times your money. Let's go through some of the picks this week from the guys at Chat Sports. One of our guys is taking more on Christian McCaffrey with his touchdowns, over half touchdown, and more on Sam Howell, over more than 257.5 passing yards. How about this one? A little Aiden O'Connell, CJ Stroud, Big Ten action, rookie quarterbacks, less than 212.5 passing yards for Aiden O'Connell. More for Cold Ridge Stroud, never won a game under 35-degree temperature. How about this three right here? You got a little Jake Ferguson, Jordan Love, and Brian Robinson Jr. More. Who said that one? I noticed, Brett, a lot of people choose more, right? I think more is just funner to get, right? Get more stats.
Life's too short to take the less.
Life is too short to take the less. And go back to this one here, Christian McCaffrey, Sam Howell. That's why it's so easy. You don't have to worry about all these different wild things, etc. You just pick more or less on stats for 2 or more players. You win up to 25 times your money. You put $5 on 2 for right there, you get 15. I put $10 on a lot of mine. I pick a 3-pack. I'm getting $50 if I win. Those are the picks from the guys at Chat Sports this week with Prize Picks. Get a $100 deposit match, prizepicks.com/CLNS. Use promo code CLNS. Prize Picks is awesome. It's super easy. Takes less than 60 seconds to make your picks each week. Get going with Prize Picks, prizepicks.com/CLNS. We'll put the link in the comments and the description of today's video and the live chat here live on a Tuesday night. How about the best 2 rushing teams that both Ohio State and Michigan have faced so far this year? Penn State and Maryland. All right. Michigan 227 yards against Penn State. Ohio State 79. Right? Penn State's been 1, 2, or 3 in rushing defense basically the entire season. Maryland, 33rd in the country as of right now. Ohio State, 62 yards rushing. Michigan, 141 yards rushing. Now, Ohio State fans are going to say, no TreVeyon Henderson. He's back this week. But I think it still goes to the philosophy of Ryan Day and this Ohio State program, which is pass. So that is what we think on that. We're going to the top 25 rankings. They are in. Top 25 rankings are coming up. Why don't we go back after the rankings, Brett? We'll kind of do that preview segment again. We had a couple graphical snafus. I have just put in the word. We're firing the intern. So, Sam, sorry about your luck, buddy. Sam is out. Our intern, Sam, for a couple graphical errors there.
What's funny is someone asked what you'll do if they lose this week.
Fire
it's
Sam.
Jack I worry about.
Ooh, Jack might.
I mean, Jack's not even here to defend himself.
Jack's not here to defend himself. Jack wanted to take a little vacation.
Jack,
is Jack in the chat? People are saying, Jack, you might not come back if Michigan were to lose, but they won't. All right. TreVeyon didn't play against Penn State. I see that, Ryan Stanson. I said that. I'm not sure if you're replying to me or other people in the live chat. So we are at 6 p.m. Central, 7 o'clock Eastern. We are in Dallas. We got a guy outside the room with little envelopes. They hand them to us. We open it up. It's a very beautiful process. Believe me on that one. And then producer Brett, producer Sam here in the studio. We've got this live show, Michigan Football Report. We're also live on the Chat Sports YouTube channel for more general college football Top 25 reveal rankings show. I am not general at all. By the way, I brought this bad boy. This is like a little good luck charm for me. You see this? I love it. It's a 1947 Michigan football replica helmet. But Michigan won the national title in 1947. I found this at a what are those places called where you like a consignment store? Antique store. It was consigned from someone. I bought it for like $125 this spring. I think this bad boy is going to lead Michigan to a national championship. I'll tell you what, Michigan goes to the national championship when they go in Houston. We'll be there. I'm wearing this to the game. Wearing this to the game. That's what I'm telling you guys.
You know what? I got to come to something else before we get to these rankings. Because we got a 50 from Jimbo.
Super chat. There you go, Jim Printable. I didn't even see that pop up, my guy. Jim, what do we got? We got a.
That's a prank call.
We got to prank call somebody. Okay.
The funny thing is, I have no idea if it'll work or not.
All right.
I told them that.
All right. Jim Printable. Let me get his. What's the date today? 21st. Okay.
The question is who we're doing first.
You're getting five stickers. I'm gonna put one on for you right now. Let's see, Jimmy, you're actually on there from last week, so I'm going to put you right here, smack dab in the middle on the back. There you go, Jim Printable. Appreciate that. Now it's time. Let's read his question. He says, start dialing, my friend. Hope we get our tight ends involved more this game. Let's go. Bosa, appreciate you guys. Jim, appreciate you. You've been super chatting at a high rate, and we really appreciate it. It means a lot, and the support goes towards allowing us to build the show and everything like that. So shout out to Jim Printable. Let's get a little hail to Jim Printable. We just made a little song there on the go. Brett, I'm going to send you a phone. So we are making sure, guys,
Give it a try.
What's that?
We'll give it a try.
Yep. We haven't done this, and we're very busy at the office today because there's short staff because people try to take a couple vacation days before the NFL weekend, before college football. So Brett and I were rushed to put this show together at the end of the day. So a couple graphical errors, so we apologize about that. And
while I kind of set that up, why don't you try and tell the people about what's going to happen if you get some likes?
All right, so last 3 live shows we've done, the 4 college football playoff shows. First one I wasn't on. We simulcast the main show. We get 123 likes. Then a week later, 158 likes here on the live stream. Last week, we got those numbers up. Those first 2 weeks, those were rookie numbers. Last week, we got 261 likes last week. So if we beat the 261 likes, when we get to 262, folks, I am going to chug a full beer live here on the Michigan Football Report. So I'm asking something from you guys, but trying to entertain the best I can. So when you like the video, it is going towards watching a grown man with 2 kids chug a beer live on YouTube just to support Michigan football and keep doing what we love to do here at Chat Sports. So give me a like in the video. We are now coming up on 100 likes, so it means about 162 or so away from hitting that 263, beating last week's live show, and which will allow us to have me chug a beer live on the show. As we await the college football playoff top 25 rankings, and we're at 100 likes. We just hit 100 likes. I'm going to prank call somebody for Jim Prindable. Got a guy named Phil. I won't give his last name unless he wants me to. We're going to call him. We'll see if he picks up. If he doesn't pick up, we'll continue down the aisle. I might try my nephew after that, Brett. I don't know.
Yeah, that's a good call.
I might hit. By the way, while we're calling Phil here, if you guys are watching and you see in the live chat the little heart there, does that do anything? Try it. See if it does anything for you guys. I don't know if it helps get more audience or whatever it is. I might chug a beer anyways, Mike Layton. That's a fact because we're just having fun. It's Thanksgiving week. There's the super chat menu that we'll put up on screen. For those of you just watching, we're about 200 people live watching. We're at 108 likes here on the stream. When we get to 262, I will chug a beer. And that's what it is. So let's prank call. We ready? We're going to do it?
Yeah.
I might chug a beer anyways. I actually need one, Brett, when you get a chance. I've gone through this first one. Here we go. We're going to prank call. How's it? Should I hear it ringing in my ear?
It's unavailable.
Unavailable?
He said no.
I'm going to call him now. I'm just going to call him. He denied
Try it one more time.
Okay, we'll try one more time before I call him on my phone.
Ring, 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 ring.
Is it ringing?
I don't know.
All right.
FaceTime audio is not helping us.
All right. I'm just gonna call him and put it on speakerphone. Oh shit. Oh God. It's on speaker. All right, we're at speaker. You guys might be able to hear it. We're 0 for 1 in our first person calling, so we'll get back to this here in a second. All right. You hear that? I tried. So we'll get to it in a second, Jim. We're going to try another Ohio State fan here in a moment. Brett, we do that. Let's figure out this area if we can, but if not, I'll just do it on speakerphone, and we'll go. Top 25 rankings coming in. Top 25 rankings are rolling in, and we have Liberty. All right, coming in at number 25, the undefeated Liberty with Liberty.
Clemson with 4 losses. Tennessee with 4 losses.
I think that's just the committee trying to make certain teams look better with more top 25 rankings. Clemson coming in at number 24. They've got 4 losses. Tulane 10-1, North Carolina State 8-3, and Tennessee at 7-4. There is we got a $100 super chat from Back Road Blue. Brett, when you get a chance, send to the super chat. Somebody can bring a Coors. Send to production. See if we can get a Coors in here. Coors.
I'll get it.
All right, Brett will get it as we are now inside. Chug that beer, baby. Back Row Blue. We're going to go get another one because I just finished this one, but we'll do another one.
Oh, yeah. K-State jumps Oklahoma State.
Grab me that trash can when you come back too, Brett, so I can dispose of these on my own. That is your 20 through 16, Oklahoma State, Kansas State, Notre Dame, Iowa, and Oregon State. I don't even know why they rank them. I guess that's just like keeping track. It'll mean something next year, right? When we get inside the top 12 next year, you will have playoff teams. I'm going to text a couple of my friends, by the way, right now and say, hey, I need to talk to you about something. Can I call you and see if I can get, because my first friend did not pick up. My text. All right, we got. Whoa! We can't have those. We can't have those on the screen. No, but there's more. There's more of the Silver Boys in the small fridge. There we go. Once we get to the 6:15 through 11, guys, I will chug the first beer from Back Road Blue and Jim Printable. We will get back to the Prank Calling Ohio State fan in just a moment, as 15 through 11 are coming in right now. I got a text from Ohio State friend. He just called me. I'm gonna call you back. I'll call you in 2 minutes. I'll call you in 2. All right, so we're going to prank call an Ohio State fan here in a moment, as it's Arizona. I like what Arizona's doing this year. They're a couple plays away from being inside the top 10. I mean, they took a couple of guys, Washington, Washington, Oregon, Washington, USC, right down to the lane. They've only had one solid loss this year. I like what they've done. Now, where does that come from? Obviously, we all know their head coach, former Michigan offensive coordinator, Jim Harbaugh's right-hand guy. And I think he's going to be in line for a bigger job either this season or in the future. He took over objectively like a program at the level of Colorado, where Colorado was last year. You see how tough it is for Deion, all the hoopla, all the press, etc. You see how tough it has been for Deion. Well, Arizona has had a similar down in the dumps program, and just 3 seasons later, you see where we've got them here in the 2023 season. LSU, I think their guy is going to win the Heisman, by the way. Jaden Daniels, Oklahoma, Ole Miss, Penn State. That is your top 11, 25 through 11. When we get to the top 6, guys, I got Jim Printable. I'm going to prank call. I got an Ohio State fan ready on the phone. And then I will chug this beer for Back Road Blue, a $100 super chat. We're coming inside the top 15 to the top 11. Arizona, LSU, Oklahoma, Ole Miss, and Penn State. There is 15 through 11. Penn State, keeping it alive there for the Michigan-Ohio State loser to maybe sneak into the CFP if a lot of other teams were to lose this weekend. And, things would have to go in shambles at this point, because we've never had it where we're this deep, right? The week of Thanksgiving, the week of rivalry week, we have never had it. We've got 4 undefeated conference, teams from different conference, right? And the Big Ten has got 2 of them, okay? Then you've got a 1-loss Alabama. You've got a 1-loss Texas. You've got a 1-loss Louisville, right? You have got a lot of teams that still think they can make it. Not to mention, maybe the team that is playing as good as anyone in the country right now, maybe outside of Georgia, is Oregon over the last 3 or 4 weeks, probably just since they lost their game to Washington. They've been an absolute roll. I still think Bo Nix, who's like 29 years old at this point, has a chance to win the Heisman Trophy. We're going to go 10-6. I'm going to prank call because there's usually a break between the 6-7 into the top 6. So Louisville is going to be your top 10 team. Last week, I believe they were 11, so they get into the top 10, deservedly so. They've got an outside chance, the CFP top 20.
I actually believe they were 10 last week.
They were 10? Okay, yeah. Got it. So they stay at 10 then. Louisville has a chance, I think.
I'm not sure we're going to see any changes up here.
Florida State lost their quarterback, Jordan Travis.
That might be it.
All right. Missouri there is number 9. I don't think Missouri has any chance at this point. Clearly, they're not going to make the SEC title. That's Alabama. That's Georgia. So if Louisville wins their last game, right, then they go on. Let's say they crush. I understand Florida State's got a loss. Lost their quarterback. Undefeated Florida State. Probably will drop from 4 to 5 tonight. What would happen if Louisville absolutely crushed Florida State in the ACC championship game, and Alabama had a win over Georgia, and Texas lost a game? Like, there's a chance there as we're getting in there. Alabama at number 8, the 10-1 Crimson Tide, who have been on a roll since they lost to Texas the second week of the season. So they have won 8 straight games, right?
This should leave Texas at 7 here.
Yeah, they'll leave Texas at number 7 unless something changes here. Let's see. So we're waiting for the top 7 in the college football playoff, top 25. They're handing us envelopes.
This week.
What?
They're slow playing it this week.
They're slow playing this week. Texas Longhorns remain number 7 in the college football playoff top 25 rankings. As we're getting inside of the top 6, is now the time to chug the beer. Let's see, the first 3 people to type either beer or prank in the live chat. That's what I'll do next. Do the other one second. Beer or prank. What do you guys want me to do? Let's see if we can get 3 people to type which one they want to do. While waiting for the top 6, it's going to be Oregon. I think it's then going to be, I think Florida State's going to drop to 5. But I don't think it really matters. We got 1 beer, we got 2 beers, and we got 2 pranks and a beer. Okay, let me do the beer really quick. Okay. Full Coors, just open this bad boy. Ready? Let's spam chug. Let's see some chugs. Chug, chug, chug. All right,
chug, 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 chug. Someone said beer pranks same time. The problem is you guys make Yoder chug. There's no way we get through the rest of this show. All right, Oregon's.
Oregon comes in number 6. Let me grab that trash can if you can. Don't want to keep filling up these bad boys. All right, so we're inside the top 6. The Oregon Ducks, no surprise. Ashley Lawson, thank you for that. Chug, thanks everyone who said Chug. Todd, Brandon, Colin, Ryan says Washington's a better resume. FSU, OC, Michigan. Debatable. They've had way closer games than any of those teams, right? Washington's had a lot of close games over the past month.
I do want to, one note here.
What?
They're not doing top 6 together.
Yeah.
They're doing top 5 together today. So Oregon is being viewed by the committee as a tier break.
Yep.
Is what I take it as. So you've got clearly Georgia, Michigan, Ohio State in whatever order, most likely Georgia, Ohio State, Michigan. And then you've got the Florida State, Washington, which will probably be unveiled last today, would be my guess.
That's correct. So we're going to wait here on the top 5 teams because these are the undefeated teams. I think they're trying to build up some drama. Who is number 5? It's going to be Washington or Florida State, right? That's the drama that we're trying to build up here. So let's prank call an Ohio State fan. Do you want to try it through audio? Okay, let me give us guys a second. I'm going to send Brett here, producer Brett.
Try it one more time.
Send her the phone. We'll try it through the computer so everyone can hear it easier, but we only had a couple minutes to set this up. So if not, then I will just call him on my iPhone here.
Just blame the interns.
So blame the intern. That's what we do here
at
at
Chat
Chat
different
Sports.
Number?
That new number.
Oops,
Because I called.
You just put that in the wrong room.
Shoot. Well, take it from there anyways.
We're trying not to give away phone numbers publicly.
Here, I'll send it to you specifically. There's the second one. You got that?
Yeah.
Boot John Smith. We're waiting for the top 5 to be related. That's why we're waiting for the phone number. We're going to try and prank somebody through the computer so you guys can all hear it very easily, high quality audio. But if not, I'm going to do it with my iPhone. So type BOSAs, right? It's Ohio State, Michigan football week. Give me a BOSA in the chat as we are waiting on this bad boy.
You sure this person has an iPhone?
Yeah. Just text with him 2 seconds ago. No?
No, FaceTime audio is not.
All right, he might have
working.
his thing. We're just going to.
Man, this is a.
Okay, we're gonna.
This is a day for Zoom or something, I guess. Yeah. FaceTime audio failing right now as we await the top 5 coming in right now. Georgia is number 1.
I just tried to call him and it didn't even go through. Interesting. Georgia's number 1.
Expect to see the 2 versus 3 matchup yet again in the game.
Here we go, it's ringing. You hear that?
Oh, we got somebody. Quiet.
Hey, Kirk, you got a quick second? Hey, so on Saturday, I was hoping that maybe around noon or so, if you could, watch the game, Michigan-Ohio State, and watch Ohio State get their fucking ass kicked again. Go Blue!
Okay, there we go. All right, Ohio State is number 2.
That was former Ohio State offensive lineman and former NFL player Kirk Barton, who I just pranked right there. So there you go, Kirk Barton. Thank you so much, founder of Buckeye Scoop. There we go, Kirk. I just texted him live on YouTube, in your face. Told him to watch the game and see them get their asses kicked. So nothing's changed here in the top 3. It's Georgia, it's Ohio State, then it is Michigan at number 3. Not surprising. Former player Kirk Barton.
Got to build up the 4-5 drama here. A little drama.
Yes, Kirk. Kirk texted me. Yes, you were. We tried to FaceTime audio you, Kirk, but it didn't go through. So I think FaceTime audio is just a crap service at some point because it shows up my phone number. No, it's fine. It's fine. It happens.
You know what? You get the graphics done earlier. You never know.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Another 100. We should do Zach Smith as well, former Ohio State coach. People might know Zach Smith. Some people don't like him, but I think Zach's turned out to be a pretty entertaining guy on the internet. He's got his own YouTube show. Washington, people say Washington 4. I think Washington will be 4, right? They've been 5 the last couple of weeks. The drama is building. They want to keep the ratings high. ESPN gets first dibs on these, but we get them at the same exact time that they do. Kirk said, it would have been better if my AirPods work. So he said, I heard that. I was, okay, I see you, Kirk. His AirPods don't work. Tim Baker, we appreciate you. Go Blue, Bosa, waiting the top 5 here. Taking a quick second, so maybe we come back to.
Honestly, that's ridiculous.
To me, I don't know.
Just give us the rankings already.
Give us the rankings already, committee, you sons of guns.
There
Ward
we go.
Manuel did make it into Dallas. Washington there is number 4. That is
a
number
jump.
4. So that means in a lot of ways that Florida State at
out.
number 5, I think there's a risk here. I think there's a risk for Florida State that without their quarterback, even if they beat Florida this weekend, even if they then beat Louisville in the ACC championship game, there's a risk of them dropping out of the top 4 is that someone like Oregon with a dominant performance beating undefeated Washington or Alabama beating undefeated number 1 Georgia, that maybe an undefeated Florida State gets left out of the college football playoff. I think that's the challenge, right, that they're facing now, that Jordan Travis. But, like, look, in my opinion, I'm thinking here saying, hey, Michigan beats Ohio State. Alabama beats Georgia. Michigan jumps up to number 1. They take on Florida State without the quarterback in the CFP semifinals. Maybe some good news for Michigan if that were the case. Ryan Stanton, though, saying Georgia's going back to back to back. Look, at this point, yeah, you're probably onto something there. They've looked as good as anybody in the country over at least the past 2 or 3 weeks. Talk about this one, though, from 0. Ohio State lost 2 quarterbacks, and they still got in. Not only did they still get in, they won the whole thing. So that's the thing that the College Football Playoff Committee is going to take into consideration, that they've got precedent. But remember, Braxton Miller was hurt in the preseason. JT Barrett played up until about the 3rd quarter, 4th quarter against Michigan, and then Cardale Jones came in. But what happened in that game for Cardale Jones? They won 59-0 in the Big Ten championship game against Wisconsin, a decent Wisconsin team, not nearly a good one by any means. But Florida State would have to potentially do that. If they were to blow out Florida and to crush Louisville, then this doesn't matter. Of course Florida State would be in it. But if they don't, right, if they look absolutely terrible and it's 2 games instead of 1 game like it was for Ohio State in 2014, then that's the challenge that the committee is going to face, and that's potentially the, I guess, heartbreak that Florida State fans will have to live with. They lost their quarterback, right? Second to last game of the regular season, and maybe they don't get in the 2023 College Football Playoff, the last one in the 4-team era, because the College Football Playoff Committee would just want to make it more competitive of a matchup. So let me guys get your grades here. Light up the chat. A, B, C, D, or F. Let me know what you guys are thinking in the CFP top 25. Plus and minuses are allowed. You can do a plus. You can do a minus if you want. I don't know. I'm going B minus. I don't really care us at the top 10 at this point. I think it's kind of weird to continue to rank Missouri higher than Louisville. That's a little bit weird. I give the committee credit for ranking Texas still higher than Alabama. The Clemson and the Tennessee being in there, kind of weird. And then, I don't know. I still think that going to this game, despite what happened last week at Maryland, Michigan not looking great in offense, I think Michigan should be ranked higher than Ohio State. I think they've been more impressive overall this season and against similar opponents. Ohio State has not looked as good against the similar opponents, and there's 5 of them on the schedule that Michigan has so far this season. Brett, what's your grade?
Yeah, I'll go B, sure.
Yeah.
Like, I think there's always weirdness to these rankings. Multiple 4-loss teams in there. It's like you're almost just forcing yourself to not rank one of the really good group of 5 schools at that point. Whatever, though, it doesn't really matter outside of the top 7 at this point in the game. Top 8 if you want to include Alabama. I don't understand.
Louisville 10, I don't know. Louisville.
Yeah, I guess. I don't understand, though, why the committee wants to put itself in the position of flipping Florida State and Washington right now.
Mm-hmm.
Florida State still won that game 51-13.
Mm-hmm.
And so they're only supposed to go on based on what's happened on the field.
Mm-hmm.
And it almost feels like they're trying to project what Florida State is without Jordan Travis.
Yep. So,
But like, if you're going to do that for one team at one point in time, it's just such a Pandora's box.
Yep.
Like, do you open up, oh, well, Will Howard was kind of hurt against Missouri and K-State lost on a last-second field goal.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's just so much of that happens throughout the year. So why they pick and choose these spots to do that, I just feel is like only for drama and drama only.
It's like, well, do they not rank Michigan higher than Ohio State after an objectively, I think, more dominant performance, even though the score was similar? Penn State had a last-second touchdown over Michigan over Ohio State. They not rank them there because, well, hey, they don't have their head coach anymore. Oh, we're going to rank them a little lower because they're not as strong as a team without Ohio State.
I think they take the Michigan-Ohio State thing as like, well, you know what? It's going to work itself out on the field. We don't even need to mess with it right now.
Yeah.
But they don't kind of do that with Florida State, Washington, where like, why don't you just wait another week, maybe even another week, and see what happens? But you never know. Jack,
Brett, we've
Coming
got
for
a
my
guy
job.
here, guys. Jack,
coming for my job.
on a little vacation leading up to the game. He is in the
Type
Super
Jack.
Chat using his hard-earned. He's taking the Super Chat money that the show gets in to pay his paycheck to send it back to the show. It's
Yep.
the circle of trust of life. It's like a drug dealer buying his own drugs from him and doing them. Jack. Getting high in your own supply. We appreciate it, though. So there's $10. Jack gets a helmet
Jack
sticker.
gets on the helmet.
Jack gets
Put
a
him on
helmet
the
sticker.
helmet.
Producer Jack
Get him on the
Lauderay.
helmet.
He's getting there. Guys, we're going to go back to the Michigan Ohio State preview. We got a ton of content, so stick with us. We are going to be live for probably at least another hour. You ever think about yourself and you say to yourself, wait, how do you spell Jack's last name? Is the A before the U or the U before the A? I remember it now. It's
Imagine if his middle name was Gerard.
yeah, I messed it
Jack
up.
Gerard Lauderay.
Is it?
No. That's Trace's last name.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. So, Ray. Jack, I learned how to spell your name because it's A before U, except after C, followed by T. So Jack's in the helmet hard hat. He's the producer of the show, and we're giving him attribution right there. Jack, you are on there, baby. By the way, I have got two people from 2 weeks ago. I will pull them up here in a second. It was who was it? I'm just forgetting. I think was it Mike Layton? I can't remember. I'll have to pull up the doc in our stuff from last week. But we've got two people that we're trying to send the helmets to that have yet to reply and tell us where we can send their Michigan Football Report hard hat helmets that won. And we owe the Don shirt to one of them. So it was, who was it? I'm just going to pull them up right now just so we don't get crazy. Brett, tell the people what they're doing. 'Cause I want to give a few shots to make sure if they're watching to know how to get a hold of me.
Hold on.
Yep.
We got to put Jack's mom on the hard hat as well now.
Oh, we got one
from
from
big
Chris
deal. Chris Lauderay in the
She's
chat.
actually on there. Where's that other hard hat we
on the
had?
hard hat.
She'll probably together just super chat us. I think she might be on one of these already.
Yeah, but on that one, you got to put them right next to each other.
Yeah, I know. But I think these are ones from earlier in the season right here. But she's not in this one. But she has been on there. So there is Chris
Adam,
Lauderay.
first time super.
Who we got? Let's see. I'm going to get Chris Lauderay on there really quick. L before you, A before you, Chris. You get yourself a sticker.
And Adam with a first time super chat, a 20 bone.
All right, Adam, there you go. You get yourself 2 stickers on the hard hat. So what did Chris say, Brad? I didn't see it when it was up on the screen.
Chris said put her on the hard hat.
All right, she go next to Jack.
That's Miss Lauderay, by the way, not Chris.
What?
Mrs. Lauderay.
Mrs. Lauderay, yeah.
We got to get that right.
All right, I'm going to fix the I in Chris.
Adam, appreciate your support. First time super chatter.
Harrington with one R.
That's a celebrate. He gets a little GIF on the screen as well. Is it GIF or is it GIF? It's definitely GIF, by the way.
Yeah, anyone who says GIF is just a weirdo. Let's Brad, on the show, when we get a super chat, we give a hail. So let's go. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Hail to Adam Harrington for his first super chat. Go Blue. There you go, Adam, as we are going to go back into the college football, or the Michigan-Ohio State preview. Adam, let me put you on the helmet in a nice spot here, right in the top middle. Adam Harrington, you, sir, are on the hard hat. I'll get another sticker for you after the show. I don't want to bore people with putting too many stickers on the show while we are live because it's actually some of the worst form of entertainment of all time. So there it is. Top 25, college football playoff, top 25. There is the top 6. We want to go through the top 25 really quick one more time. Let's roll through the top 25 for you guys just to make sure everybody sees what happens. Georgia, Ohio State, Michigan, Washington, Florida State, and Oregon are your top 6. Texas got a chance to get in the college football playoff, although I think they're the team that's teetering. I think they might be one of those teams that it's like, we beat them head-to-head.
Texas's path is a little tough because they're going to face Oklahoma State. Most likely in the Big 12 championship. Yeah, unless a lot of chaos. And then maybe Oklahoma, which if it's Oklahoma, they get to avenge their only loss. Which makes their path a little bit easier.
Which makes them undefeated.
Yeah. Well, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that'll be interesting. If Alabama wins and there's some losses elsewhere, I think Washington or Oregon probably has to lose this weekend maybe. Florida State might have to lose this weekend for that to come down to those two as 4 and 5 if Alabama were to beat Georgia. And then the head-to-head that goes into that. So I think that's going to be a really interesting one as Missouri and Louisville. Still an outside chance, right? One loss, Louisville. Brian Brown? Which Brown brother is the Louisville coach? I can't remember at this point. Jeff Brown.
Maybe.
There's so many Browns. They're like the Wayans brothers.
Oh, buddy!
We got a hold on. John Blaze.
He doesn't want us to talk about the rankings.
We'll get to John. John, don't put up John's just yet, Brad, because I found the guy. So Dominic Francillo, if you were watching, Dominic Francillo and Mike Layton. We saw Mike Layton. Mike, I put you on the hard hat today, right? Mike Layton was in there. I owe you guys some gear. Dominic, we got a hard hat for you, and I owe you a Don t-shirt. Mike, I owe you a hard hat as well. So if you could DM me, it's at James Yoder on Twitter. So DM me, Dominic Francillo or Mike Layton, or hit us on Instagram. I've been checking the DMs. I haven't got one from either one of you guys, so I'll put those in the live chat. I'm just going to put the links with the promo. There's the accounts. At James Yoder. Oh, no, those are messed up, Brett. What do I do? I'm going to have to remove those.
You got the give part there.
Yeah.
Let me run through the rest of the rankings while you're doing that. 11 through 15, Penn State, Ole Miss, Oklahoma, LSU, Arizona. These really just don't matter other than maybe a New Year's Six Bowl / helping or hurting the top 7 and 8-ish in their final rankings. 16 through 20, Oregon State, Iowa, Notre Dame, K-State, Oklahoma State. Oklahoma State did beat K-State earlier in the year. Tennessee, NC State. Tulane is your group of 5 representative as of now. Then Clemson with 4 losses. And Liberty, the other group of 5, vying for that New Year's Six Bowl.
There it is. Now, we had a super chat come in from my guy, John Blaze, a.k.a. John Blaze Wolverine, says, go blue. Time to beat those Bucknuts this Saturday. Break the wheel, and we'll see Crying Day, a.k.a. Ryan Day. Crying Day, we've renamed him that. Get fired after the game. We are winning the Natty, John. I'll hopefully see you in Houston. It's Hate Week. Bosa, 1000. Go blue. Rio 1. John, get in the chat and let me know because that post game at Maryland, it's like a JV stadium, right? It reminds me of like a Toledo or a Cal or one of these schools that don't take football seriously. Maybe Toledo does, but it's a small stadium. But it was impossible to get out of there. John texted me a picture when I told him what bar to meet me at after the game because we couldn't get an Uber. It was 45 minutes to get an Uber after Michigan, Maryland. And I'm like, hey, we're going to this bar. He's like, he took a picture of just wall-to-wall traffic to just get out of the parking garage. This was like 20 or 30 minutes after the game. So John and I didn't get to meet in person. It would have been a while. He says 3 hours stuck in the garage. That's got to be a joke, right? But it's not crazy because I've been stuck in the garage for like an hour and a half at a Dallas Mavs game.
I was going to say the Mavs too. It's horrible.
Dallas Mavs is the worst. If you park in like their VIP garage and pay like
you should
$40,
take the
$50. What?
Take the train.
Yeah, it's terrible. It's absolutely brutal. John Blaze says 3 hours stuck in the garage. John, I didn't get back to my friend's house who lives in just north of Maryland or just north of Maryland campus, 25 minutes, between DC and Baltimore. We didn't get back until like 6:42. We had a 7:30 dinner reservation because the game was over, 3:30? And we just had to wait. We Uber. We had to walk 35 minutes into a residential college neighborhood to have an Uber be able to get to us because that street that is off the stadium just never doesn't have full traffic both ways, 5 miles per hour. John, I hope you got out of the 3 hours. Hope you guys entertained yourself. I don't know. But I hope you enjoyed your time at Michigan, Maryland. It was brutally windy. It was too cold. John, I think you only sit a section over from me, right? I think you were in 26. I was in 25. 40-yard line submitted you at like the 50-yard line. But we ended up watching the fourth quarter from the standing room only deck because it was in the sun, and we got a drink at the end of the third quarter when they stopped giving drinks. We didn't want to go back to the seats because it was so damn windy. So I give Michigan a little bit of a pass. J.J. McCarthy a little bit of a pass. So cold, so windy at that Michigan-Maryland game. So Michigan ranked third in the fourth college football playoff, top 25. We're going to start. Hi there, youngster. 50-yard line, row A. John, I would expect nothing less from you. Thank you so much for the $100 super chat. We go to the super chat menu. What does that have to do for that? It's chug a full beer, right?
I mean, that's a beer bong.
Beer bong. Can you go grab it for me?
Which one do you want?
Just the red one.
The bong or the merbonga, or what do you want?
John, what do you want? The merbonga, the blue thing, the like mermaid flute, or the beer bong, the full bong? Let me know in the chat really quick, and we'll have somebody go grab it. As I answer Mark's question, it was windy. I'm not sure. I think at the end of the day, bong. He says bong. John says bong. Go grab a bong. I would say do one of the ones if we can find one, Brett, without. I like the vowel, but sometimes it confuses me if I'm not ready for it. So just get whatever one is easier.
Wait, what does that mean?
Just get whatever bong you want. Just get whatever one's easiest. Why didn't Michigan keep the field goal at Maryland? It was windy as hell. It was cold as hell. It's tough to say, but I do think that Sharon Moore, I like the fact that Michigan was 4 of 4 on fourth downs because I did feel that there were certain times in both the Penn State game and the Maryland game where Michigan played not to lose instead of playing to win. One of the things you look back the last 2 seasons against Ohio State, right? You've got the flea flicker. You got back to there's JJ passed down the sideline to Roman Wilson. You've got one other play. I can't remember the 2021 game. It's still such a fog to me because my brain wasn't working that day because I was just so excited. But there's a couple plays. And then, of course, the beer bong for John Blaze. This doesn't look like it's got really clean, or you have to talk to the cleaning department on this one.
I mean, you should see the coffee cups.
Well, what do people do? Just doing a little water through? It's time for burst people.
I actually think we should throw all the coffee cups away.
Yeah, do it. People use a styrofoam one. We're going to get back to our Michigan Ohio State preview. We're going to start from the top on that one. Brett, we good in the graphics? We good in the graphics? Why don't you check those? Why don't you check those bad boys? And a TreVeyon Henderson one. 2 days in a row on that one.
Well, that's because it wasn't moved over.
All right, let's go. Can we see that? Woo! Pour myself a nice beer bong. Ooh, I got to put my thumb in that thing. That's going to overflow. So bear with us, guys. We have 2 things we're going to talk about. We got the Michigan Ohio State preview. Then I've just got some things what to watch for. I'm going to really stick it to Ryan Day and just tell him how much of a wuss he is later in the show. In between there, we are going to do a Michigan Ohio State mailbag. So if you want, hashtag Michigan gets you to the top of the queue, or any super chat. If you ask a question or have any insight on Michigan Ohio State, we'll put you on our mailbag, which will be about 15, 20 minutes away. Man up. Who's saying man up? Is that to me? All right.
Well, John Smith's actually been one that people have been calling to be banned from the chat.
Who should be banned? John Smith? What do you say?
He's just talking about cheating and stuff like that.
John, you should check my Twitter account. I mean, there was a Big Ten school, right? A Big Ten school that got dominated by the rival for 15 plus years, was losing left and right, was so sick of it, they launched the most elaborate cheating scandal that college football has ever seen. Am I talking about Michigan this year? Oh, no. I'm talking about Ohio State in 2001 when they hired Jim Tressel after 15 years of getting beat by Michigan. And they did all the cheating and paying players and that stuff that led 10 years later, this thing went on for 10 years, to Tressel being fired for Tattoo-gate. That's what I'm talking about there. So, oh, wait, another one from John Blaze?
Another one.
Oh, gosh. Yeah, let's get this one out of the way first.
Yeah, I think you're going to have to do some content before you get to this one.
Never for John Blaze. Okay, John, here we go.
No way, not for the Blaze. It's not legal in Texas to blaze, though.
Woo! There's one. I need another beer, Brett.
Here you go.
Yeah, we'll try that one. We'll put it in. Gotta make a mess myself. One more for John Blaze. Type chug in the chat. Show me some respect for that beer bong there. Type chug, type bong, whatever you want. Show some respect. Type Bosa.
John Blaze and his support of the show goes a long way.
I'm gonna put these out of the way, but let's get one more beer in here. I gotta get my thumb.
Yoder needs more practice of this, guys. You know, he just doesn't get enough practice. All right, pouring it in. All right, here we go, pouring it in. I can't see you pouring it, though.
I was giving a beer that I don't support their messaging, so I'm gonna hide the beer. It's a light beer, but one of the producers handed it in the office. I said I won't show that beer on screen because just because.
Yeah.
We got $20 coming from 60 Van Nuys. Let me get to that. I'm going to do one more bong from John Blaze. Fill that bad boy up. Fill her up. Let's go. Type a chug in there.
Chug, 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 chug. John Smith got it.
How do I keep it down?
Just put it in your mouth. That's
ready?
Oh, that was close. Woo! All right, let's go to 69 Nice.
There you go, John Blaze. Don't say it, John Smith. Don't say it. Not Bud Light. Never. A Shroud with a Bosa. Chug. Primo Johnny MX. Ow, that hurt my thumb putting it in there.
Lance got it. Natty Light.
Natty Light. Yeah, I think it was Natty Light. We got Michigan wins by 10 on Saturday. That's Super Chat. First time Super Chat from 69 Van Nuys. Is that what that means?
Oh, you're right. It is.
69 Van Nuys. The first time Super Chat. Hail to 69 Van Nuys. Bump, bump, bump.
I'll get it. I'll get it eventually.
Michigan wins by 10 on Saturday. Go Blue. Dan, the man from Arizona. Dan, you are the man. I don't know what Van Nuys is. Isn't that a city in Arizona? I think
It's
it might
an
be.
airport in
California.
near LA.
Yeah. So if
Isn't that where Ari and Vince go in Entourage to go on their PJs?
I think it was. That's where the Van Nuys private jet airport. That's what it is. John Smith now calling us woke. I like this one. JW Fackler says John Smith drinks Zima. MTR says Yoder drinking.
Is it? By the way,
Translite?
Zima's kind of funny if you think about it, because it's basically White Claw or Truly or all those, just way before its time.
Yeah. It was way before its time. I do like some of those. I don't advertise it, but those do go down sometimes when you're not really in the mood to just pour some vodka. You get one of those.
The High Noon it's so far and above the best.
High Noon is great, but I do feel that I can drink 50 of those and not even have a single.
And then you'll be.
I have no alcohol in me. I just feel like I have nothing going on right there. So let's get to it. So let me get Van Nuys' sticker really quick, guys. We are going to stick with us now. We have, by the way, like the video, and we will chug another beer live on the stream. We've got about 107 likes to go. We'll do another beer chug, although with John Blaze coming in, I'm not sure how much of it. Maybe it should be you should do one too, Brett. Brett will do one too. I'll bong one, Brett will chug one, or vice versa. We'll do two for, let's get to 262 likes. Beat last week's. 69 Van Nuys. You are getting on the helmet sticker. You are a real one. You are now a legend. I totally misspelled that.
69 Van Nuys.
EANNUYS. 11:21. So 69 Van Nuys, you will be on the end screen to our show. About 80% of videos, 4 to 5 after the season is over. If you watch the end of any of our videos, you will see guys like John Blaze and Brad Bucherite and some guy. And Ashley Lawson will be on there next year. Cruel Moti, Jim Prindable will be on there. Stephen Mers, Dominic Ventrilo from last year's. They will be all on the end screen on this year's videos. So take a look at that. Those are our 40 producers, the people who helped support the show last season. Let's take a look at our Michigan-Ohio State preview. Let's keep it rolling, guys. Use hashtag Michigan. You'll get on our live Michigan football mailbag here in about 20 minutes. But we're going to start from the top with our Michigan-Ohio State preview. Go all the way through that. Then we'll take your mailbag questions. Then I will have my what to watch for, which I got a few things to say about Ryan Day. I'm just going to absolutely eviscerate him to the point where he's probably going to have to call me out after the game. What? Crying Day. Any urban prank videos like last week, LOL. Did you guys see that? Brad, I'm not sure if you saw it.
Oh, yeah. Of course I saw it.
I trolled Urban Meyer with the old video with no sound, saying that he said about Ryan Day that if you lose your interim coach, you're getting fired at Ohio State, etc. Got picked up by awfulannouncing.com, foxnews.com, and outkick.com. Awful Announcing itself, run by a bunch of schmucks. Nevertheless, Yoder in the news for trolling Ryan Day. A. Schraub says that was legendary, Yoder. Thank you so much. Hey, look. It's kind of funny. It just shows sometimes how many people don't click in to actually get the context of an article, of a link, or, of course, in a video. Let's keep it rolling here with our Michigan football preview here. Give me 1 second, Brett. Go up to the top of my doc. Got to do that so I am in the right spot. And we will talk all Michigan-Ohio State for about the next hour and 15 minutes. Oh, I got way, way high to go on this bad boy. We scrolled all the way down. All right, cool. So now I've got it going here. Michigan-Ohio State preview from the Michigan Football Report by Chat Sports. I think I had one too many beer bongs already. Let's get it going right now. Beat Ohio State again. The game of the week, the game of the year. Hell, folks, this could be the game of the century or the century upon century upon century. Third century of college football. Michigan-Ohio State 11-0 for the second year in a row. Brett, do you know how many times two 11-0 teams have played each other in college football history in a regular season game? This is the third time ever. 2006, 2022, 2023. That's how legendary of a run they have. 2 of the 3 times it's ever happened is taking place, and we all get to be a part of it as fans. Michigan's favored by 3.5. Over under is 46.5 points for the best 2 scoring defenses in all of college football. Here's the ask here. We've been doing this for 3 years. It started right before they started Wisconsin game, or no, Wisconsin game, but in the fourth game of the 2021 season, I said, if you'd like to meet Michigan to beat Wisconsin, like the video. So I think Michigan's like 32 of 33 in regular season's games since we started this. So I'm telling you, if you're a Michigan fan right now, don't be sitting there Saturday if Michigan loses and you come back and say, Yoder asked me to like the video. I didn't like the video. What's going to happen is you're going to feel so terrible by yourself. And then I'm going to get a list of all the people who watched it, all the people who liked it. If your name's not on there, we're banning you from the show for life. So put out the good vibes. Don't jinx it. Wolverine Alaska. I see that $20 super chat, Wolverine Alaska. He's liking the video. We'll get to that here in just a few moments. Like this video, Michigan, Ohio State preview. And I'm going to give you my prediction for this game, which, folks, I'm calling this the game of the century. In my opinion, with everything that's been going on, Michigan turning the tables, getting the last 2 wins, the Connor Stallion scandal, maybe the involvement of Ohio State. There's a lot of people saying that, including University of Michigan Regent Jordan Acker in the last 24 hours or so. No Jim Harbaugh, okay? This is the last year of the Big Ten that you and I grew up with, and the Big Ten that's been there forever, right? We're going to have 4 teams from the West Coast. No more Rose Bowl, no more Big Ten, Pac-12. This makes this, in my opinion, the most anticipated regular season game in the history of this sport. Let's take a little deeper dive into the matchup. Ohio State traveling north, right? 11-0, both teams are 8-0 in the Big Ten. Michigan's got a better scoring offense right now, scoring 5 points more per game, number 11 in the country to number 24 ranked Ohio State scoring offense. But this is the number 1 versus number 2 scoring defense in the country. Michigan's favored by 3.5 points. Obviously, you guys all know this. The game is on Fox for, I think, the 3rd or 4th year in a row at 12 o'clock from the Big House. Game of the century. Gosh, I just can't wait. I mean, I am thinking about this game 24 hours a day, honestly. I have not thought about this game a single hour over the last probably like a month or so. But gosh, since I came home from the Maryland game on Sunday, this is all I have been thinking about. Let's do this too. Type some BOSAs down in the chat. Just remember the effort you put in this week. I went to the Rose Bowl once with my dad, Brett, and we passed a car going, you had USC all over it because they're in town. And every time we'd see a USC, we'd just try and drive faster than them because we were putting in more effort than a USC fan. We went for like a jog, guy running by with the USC shorts. We just had to put our effort was the effort Michigan had. Now, it didn't work out. It was a better USC team than Michigan was, but we're going to change that narrative because it's worked for 2 seasons in a row. Comment BOSA over and over and over if you've been with us on this political campaign to change the future of Michigan football. Let's take a look at the positions, right? We're going to go through the offense. We're going to go through the defense. I'm going to give you my take on both sides of the ball, who's got the advantage on offense, quarterback all the way down, and on defense. And we start here in the Michigan Football Report with the quarterback position. J.J. McCarthy, Kyle McCord, the 2 recruits that were right at the top of their class in 2021. Ryan Day chose Kyle McCord, which good decision, bad decision, it's up for you to decide. But this is in the spring of their sophomore year. I think Kyle McCord might have wanted to come to Michigan, actually, funny enough, but Michigan didn't recruit him that hard. Ohio State didn't recruit J.J. McCarthy that hard, and McCarthy probably wanted to go to Ohio State. So it's kind of crazy. Both these players, maybe not their number 1 school, et cetera, but both these players probably at a time when they committed to their current school may have favored the other one when they were sophomores in high school. McCarthy's passing the ball at a higher clip, 74% to 66% for Kyle McCord. McCord has passed the ball like Ohio State quarterbacks do pretty much basically every year at a higher yardage clip. Both quarterbacks, McCord's got 22 passing touchdowns to JJ's 18, but JJ has the rushing touchdowns to go with it. Both have thrown 4 interceptions. I think what the difference comes down to, where I think I am making my pick to be JJ McCarthy over Kyle McCord, is the fact that Michigan converts on 3rd down, number 4 in the country, 52% of the time, while Ohio State is at 46.5% of the time. And look, Michigan converts at the highest rate I've ever seen. It's really tough to fact check these things because there's so many things that have happened, but I had some stats going early in the season, but I just haven't been able to keep up with it. It's like through 6 or 7 games, Michigan was the highest in college football history at converting 3rd and 8 or longer. But I haven't been able to keep up with the last 6 or 7 games because you got to go through basically every single season, week by week by week. But I think that alone gives Michigan the nod at quarterback. I think anyone with the eye test say that Kyle McCord has a lot of talent, but that J.J. McCarthy has played better this year. He's won bigger games, right? J.J. McCarthy won this game last season, went into Columbus and beat Ohio State. And so just seeing that, I think that the quarterback position advantage goes to Michigan. How about running backs? All right. Both schools have big-time running backs. And it's a very similar situation sometimes, in some ways, to the quarterback, is that the 2021 class had Donovan Edwards and TreVeyon Henderson as maybe two of the top 3 or 4 players. And Ohio State potentially could have both of them, but they chose TreVeyon Henderson. John Blaze, I see you, baby. We'll get you here in just a second. When we're done with our preview, our number 2 and number 1 super chatters from last season, Wolverine Alaska and John Blaze, coming through. I love you guys. TreVeyon Henderson has come back. He was a 5-star. He was the best running back in the country in the 2021 class. Third year, was an absolute dynamo as a true freshman in 2021. Last 4 games after coming back from injury, right? 15 carries for 146, 2 touchdowns, 13 for 63 in a game he didn't really play in the second half, and a touchdown versus Michigan State. 22 for 128, plus 80 yards receiving at Rutgers and at Wisconsin on October 28th, the game he came back. 24, 162, and a touchdown. Folks, I think this is the number 1 key to the game for Michigan. Michigan has got to contain TreVeyon Henderson. If Ohio State can steal Michigan's blueprint from the past 2 years, set the tone with the running game, they're probably going to go into Michigan Stadium and win this game. And the past proves it. I mean, let's look at the last 5 games. And if you go back to 5 years prior to this, 5 years prior to that, 5 years prior to that, almost every single time you're going to see 5 out of 5 checklists like you do right here. 2022, 2021, Michigan absolutely dominated on the ground. 252 and 297. Got the win. Prior to that, 19, 18, 17, even 16, even 15, even 14, 264, 171, 226. But a team that can run the ball, that's not forced to pass the ball 2/3 of the time like Ohio State was with Coleridge Stroud the last 2 years, wins this game. A dominant passing game. It's fun to watch, baby. It's exciting. It puts points on the board against Rutgers or Maryland or East Carolina. But when you get one of the big boys, and your conference who knows how you play, look, at the end of the day, I'm going to take the team that can run the ball, dominate the line of scrimmage, take out 8, 7, 6, 10 minutes of clock time on one possession. I think Michigan needs to have the running game. Stop TreVeyon Henderson, go back to the 2022, 2021 offensive line dominance, get Blake Corum, Donovan Edwards, and Kalel Mullings some yards. Michigan then can win this ball game. But who do you guys think is the better running back? Right now, going into the game, Blake Corum or TreVeyon Henderson? I want to know what you guys think on this one. Corum is a year older than Henderson, but for all intents and purposes, they've both been kind of starter-level players for the past 3 seasons, although Henderson did miss a lot of time in the 2022 season and wasn't actually able to play against Michigan last season. Let me tell you guys about Prize Picks, the presenting sponsor of today's Michigan Football Report. I am not a daily fantasy guy, but I've been playing Prize Picks all season long, and I absolutely love it, so I keep inviting them to come back to sponsor one of our shows. It's super easy. You just pick more or less on player stats to win up to 25 times your money. With Prize Picks this week, I am selecting, well, I'll tell you who I'm selecting. I gave it to our employees because some of them are winning such huge money. I said, send me your Prize Picks. I'll show them on the show, and I'm going to mirror all of your picks. So one guy sent me this one. Christian McCaffrey going more than a half a touchdown. So Christian McCaffrey is going to score. He's going more. Sam Howell, more as well, 257.5 passing yards. Who picked that one? Do you know? I can't remember.
That came from Petey.
That came from Petey?
By the way.
Yeah.
No, it's Christian McCaffrey yards.
Oh.
Half a yard. That's a freebie. They're giving you a freebie this week.
I'm not sure if I understand that. He's playing, right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so
they're giving you a free pick.
All right, I didn't even recognize that one. I just assumed it had to be touchdown. How about this one? A couple guys that Michigan beat last year, Aiden O'Connell, Coleridge Stroud, NFL rookies. I like this less because the Raiders are a mess. More Stroud in November. He throws for a lot of yards. He loses a lot of games, especially this week.
It's in Jacksonville, though.
That's fine. It'll probably be a little chillier there than expected. Those couple picks that the guys from Chat Sports gave me this week. Also, the great thing about Prize Picks, the only daily fantasy sports game in the business that allows you to have a reboot policy if a player gets injured in the first half, doesn't come back for the second half. He's basically taken out of your Prize Picks entry. The entry lives on without that selection. Pretty awesome. It's simple to play. I can make my picks and submit them in less than 60 seconds. I play Monday Night Football. I play Sunday Night Football, Thursday Night Football, and I play college football every single Saturday. So make sure you guys launch the app Thursday, Wednesday, Friday this week. Take a look at the picks for Michigan, Ohio State. Choose more or less for TreVeyon Henderson, Blake Corum, Donovan Edwards, J.J. McCarthy, Kyle McCord, Marvin Harrison Jr. Put some money to work. You pick 3, you put down 10, you make 3 picks more or less, you win 50. You can win up to 25 times your money, and you can get up to $100 deposit match at prizepicks.com/CLNS with promo code CLNS. Go get started with Prize Picks. It's super easy, it's super fun, and you get a $100 deposit match with promo code CLNS. The best 2 rushing teams that these teams have faced this year, Ohio State and Michigan, they're common opponents, and the best 2 rushing teams of all of the common opponents are Penn State and Maryland, right? The teams that Michigan played the last 2 weeks. Let's take a look here. Michigan, 227 yards a couple weeks ago against Penn State, the number 1 rush defense in college football. I think at the time, maybe the number 2. Now the number 3. And 141 against the number 33 ranked rush defense, Maryland, this past week. How about Ohio State? 79 and 62. Ohio State fans are going to say to you, they're going to say, well, TreVeyon Henderson wasn't there during that game. But go back and look at the play selection of those games. They tried to run. Then they gave up when it wasn't working. And that's the same story that you've seen in a lot of games in the Ryan Day era. If it's working, they'll keep rolling with it. But the second they aren't breaking off chunks of yards, they haven't scored 14 points by the middle of the second quarter, they will abandon the run like you can't believe. And that's what Michigan needs to do. Force them to pass the ball this coming Saturday. So I'm doing it as a push on this one. I'm giving TreVeyon Henderson, Blake Corum, Donovan Edwards, a good push because Henderson has come back with an absolute vengeance. I think I'm calling that one a push coming up against in this game coming up on Saturday. Some people will disagree. I think Ohio State fans are going to say, no way. Ohio State's got a way better running game. Michigan fans are going to say, the Don, Blake Corum, Heisman candidate last year, going to break the Michigan all-time touchdown record. They've got a better running backs. I don't think you can take anything away from either of those teams and their players. So I'm going with a push on that one. By the way, as we're going to do a cut here, I just got a text from a player from Ohio State player, father of an Ohio State player. Might have something on the table here coming up. If you guys want us to have the father of a major Ohio State player come on the show, I will talk about that here in just a second. But I'm giving Ohio State and Michigan the tie at running back, both a check mark. Michigan the edge at quarterback. How about wide receivers? All right, wide receivers is a no-brainer for me. And if you look at the guys they have at Ohio State, it's just 5-star after 5-star after 5-star after 5-star. And these are the players that everyone knows. Marvin Harrison Jr., Emeka Egbuka, 2 of the top wide receivers in the 2021 class, both true juniors. But Harrison is the player. He wasn't even a top 20 or top 25 player in that 2021 class, but Egbuka was a top 10 player, a 5-star. Harrison wasn't. And there's Cardell Tate, the true freshman. Now, Julian Fleming, who's I think a 4th-year player out there, he was a 5-star himself, has more catches than Cardell Tate, but less yards. So I put the one with the most yards there on this graphic. This does not include their tight end, Cade Stover. This is the best wide receiver group in all of college football. And as such, with Roman Wilson kind of uncertain at this point on what he's going to do, left the game injury, took a shot to the head. I'll say this about Ohio State wide receivers. Hey, Marvin Harrison, go off, young man. You're one of the best receivers in the history of the Big Ten. Go off. You want to have 185 yards receiving? That's totally fine. Because if I am Jesse Minter in this Michigan football defense, all of those yards happen in between the 20s. We bracket you. We stop you inside the 20. You don't get in the end zone. Maybe get in the end zone once. It's a lucky play when Michigan decides to blitz in a random time, etc. But go off, young man, because if you are getting the yards, I personally think that leads to a better outcome for Michigan. Let's talk about wide receivers there as I'm giving Michigan, Ohio State 2 check marks in this matchup. And that's a little different than we got at the other positions, right? Ohio State's taken 2 check marks when we come to this one. Running backs, not that we're there. So I've got quarterback Michigan. Running backs, we're calling that a push, but wide receiver, 2 check marks for this game. Let's talk about offensive line here. Offensive line is an area that I believe both teams have struggled in this season. What Michigan needs right now is the 2021 and 2022 offensive line vibes is not come to fruition as we'd have expected in this season. You had 3 guys come from Pac-12 schools, 3 guys who were starters at Pac-12 schools, 2 from Stanford, right? A center plus Miles Hinton. Then you've got Ladarius Henderson coming over from Arizona State. Yet, I don't think any of those guys has been an excellent player this year. I think Michigan right now has their 2, Trevor Keegan and Zach Sinter are absolute studs at the left guard and the right guard. The tackles right now, Carson Barnhart, struggling a little bit. Struggled against Penn State. Moved over to left tackle in the second half against Maryland. Struggled against Maryland. Miles Hinton has been a starter for 3 games, came back and started against Maryland. He didn't have that great of performance himself. So when you look at both these offensive lines, it was the weakness against Ohio State. Coming into the season, it's continued to be a weakness for Ohio State, and I don't think Michigan's offensive line has done anything to change my perspective of them after they struggled the first few weeks of the season. So in other ways, unless Michigan brings back the 2021 and 2022 offensive line vibes, I'm doing one of those right that you see on the screen there, a little shrug, right? I'm just doing one of these, and I'm giving them a shrug because I don't think either team has an advantage in this matchup, offensive line for Michigan or Ohio State. Are you an Ohio State fan? Well, then get the hell out of this video. But if you're a Michigan fan, subscribe now to the channel. Doing one of these here, shrug for Michigan-Ohio State offensive line matchup. But Michigan fans, subscribe now. Let's keep supporting the show. Keep supporting the YouTube channels, podcasts. Support everybody who's covered Michigan right now, including us. Give me a subscribe on this channel, on this video. If you are watching and have yet to do so, youtube.com/Michigan TV. Send it to all of your friends. It's the Michigan Football Report by Chat Sports. How about tight ends? All right. I think a lot of Ohio State fans say, oh my gosh, Cade Stover's the best tight end in college football. He's Brock Bowers 2.0, yada, yada, yada. I disagree. I don't think Cade Stover is the difference maker that Ohio State fans make him out to be. And why is that? Well, take a look at this photo right here. Do you remember this play? Maybe the play of the year. Wasn't a touchdown, wasn't an interception, wasn't a fumble recovery, wasn't a kickoff return or a blocked field goal or anything like that. But when it was a 2-score game and Ohio State could have cut it to a field goal game, Mike Sainristil making up about 10 feet and chasing down Cade Stover, knocking the ball out of his hands, I think could have been the play of the year for Michigan last year. Now I'll say this, we see the bottom of the screen. Hey, Cade, do you remember Mikey Sainristil? He's put up good numbers this year. 38 catches, over 500 yards receiving, 5 touchdowns. But if you go back and watch last year's game, there were at least 3 separate times where Cade Stover won the first quarter, right? When they went for it, when they passed it, I think it was 3rd and 1. One in that play right there with Mikey Sainristil knocked out of his hands. And then on Stroud's last pass of his Ohio State career, in the Big Ten at least, not counting the Georgia game, it was the ball going right through Stover's hands and then McCarthy Page intercepting it. So he had three plays last year that had he caught the ball on 3rd and short, where did a play action pass, went down the field to him, in the end zone for a touchdown, and then they were down by 3 scores at the end of the game. That one probably didn't matter as much. That could have been game-changing plays, and he failed on all of them. So I'm giving Michigan the advantage here. Colston Loveland, A.J. Barner, I think are going to come up bigger in this game and have really, in my opinion, all season, other than what I would call vanity stats than Cade Stover. Predict the score, Michigan, Ohio State. Let's see what you guys are thinking for this game. If you're an Ohio State fan watching this video, thank you for watching. We appreciate the audience. But say again, click the ads, support the sponsors, support Prize Picks as well. Pick the score here. Let me know what you guys are thinking on this score prediction. I've given my score prediction once this week, I think. I'm going to give it again to you right here. Now, why do I pick the score? For 2 years in a row, I have picked Michigan to score in the 40s, and last year I nailed it. I'm sorry, in 2021 I nailed it right on the dot. I said 42, so I'm going back to there. 42-24 Michigan. In my heart of hearts, I don't think either team is going to score in the 40s, but I'm going 42-24 Michigan. They scored 42 in 2021, 45 in 2022. I'm going back to that 42 number from the 2021 season. Predict the score. I've got 42-24. Keep it rolling here before we switch over to the defense, as I gave Michigan the advantage of quarterback, push at running back, Ohio State the big advantage of wide receiver. push, but one of these at offensive line, and then Michigan, the very slight but definite advantage at tight end. Let's take a look on the defensive side of the ball. There's four positions that we're going to talk about here. Defensive line. You could break that out to interior and internal defensive line, but we're not going to do that. We're just going to go to the defensive line in general. We're going to talk linebackers. We're going to talk cornerbacks, and then I've combined actually, which is kind of me counter to what you guys think, safety and nickel into one position. So let's start at the defensive line. All right, Ohio State fans again. They're going to say, I've seen these predictions from all the Ohio State guys this week. Oh, we got the advantage here, advantage here, advantage here. No, you don't. Michigan has a better defensive line than Ohio State at this point. And for me, it is not even a question. Michigan goes 8 deep at this defensive line. You've got Mason Graham. You've got Kenneth Grant on Heisman list this week, top 10 Heisman. He is not even starting at Michigan. Chris Jenkins will be a top 20 pick in the NFL draft. Derek Moore will be a first-round pick next year or the year after on the outside. Josiah Stewart was one of the best defensive ends in college football last year at Coastal Carolina. He is not even a starter on Michigan. Jalen Harrell, Braden McGregor, those guys are starting for a reason. They know how to beat Ohio State. They know how to get the quarterback against Ohio State. I am giving Michigan the advantage at the defensive line. I don't care what JT Tuamala does or Jack Sawyer. And I think Ohio State is actually, frankly, kind of weak on the interior of their defensive line. Let's talk about linebackers. All right. Michigan's linebackers are good. Michael Barrett, obviously. Junior Colson. Then you've got the backups. Okay. Ernest Hausman. But what about Ohio State? I'm giving the advantage for 2 reasons. Tommy Eichenberg, who didn't come up big against Ohio State last year, but has had a 2-year run as good as any Big Ten linebacker, maybe since Devin Bush in 2016 and 2017. But the loss of Chris Partridge, the linebacker coach for Michigan, I think has got to push me over the edge. You guys know how it is. You've got jobs, I hope at least. When things happen at your place of work, or let's say you're in a community or a group, and leadership changes, it doesn't happen overnight. And I think that's just the difference for Ohio State here with Michigan losing the linebacker coach. I've got to give Tommy Eichenberg probably would be the best linebacker of all these guys, slightly over Junior Colson. And then Michigan's linebackers coach, it just doesn't work for the program anymore. So I'm giving the advantage to Ohio State at the linebacker position. Let's talk about cornerback. Cornerback is an interesting one. So Ohio State's got Denzel Ward. They've got quite a few players on the they've got 3 quarterbacks deep. Michigan's got Will Johnson. They've got quite a few guys make an impact. But I think overall, top talent here. I'm going with Michigan. I'm going with Will Johnson. I have got Michigan push with Ohio State because of the top-level players that both teams have. Will Johnson, Denzel Ward. I'm going push at the cornerback position. At safety and nickel. So we're talking Makari Page. We're talking Rod Moore. We're talking Mike Sainristil versus the same group for Ohio State. Ransom's not playing, right? I'm going advantage on Michigan. Do you remember last year? 3-year starter for this team. Lathan Ransom. Now, 2-year starter last year, 3-year starter this year. He got hurt. Very sorry to hear that, Lathan Ransom. October 28th against Wisconsin. But you guys remember this call. Donovan Edwards down the sidelines. Gets past Ransom. Donovan Edwards. Touchdown. Michigan. The Don. Well, he's not playing. And despite the fact that he gave up those touchdowns to Donovan Edwards, he still is a very high-level player. Got injured. Ohio State's defense is obviously better with him. And given he's not playing, I think that's the difference at safety and nickel. Even with him, I might give Michigan the advantage because I think Rod Moore has been playing excellent since he came back from injury. I think Makari Page has always been a solid player. And I think Mike Sainristil is the MVP of Michigan's 2023 team. I'm talking offense, I'm talking defense, I'm talking special teams. And frankly, could have been the MVP last year, might have been, depending on what categories or what metrics that you take seriously. These are 2 elite defenses, though. Ohio State is much better than last season. That's a fact. Jim Knowles has changed his defense up. He was a man defense guy. We saw that against Michigan. Cornelius Johnson, left side. Cornelius Johnson, deep. Colson Loveland, over the right hash mark. And then man coverage in the run game. Donovan Edwards, 75 yards. Donovan Edwards, 85 yards. The reason I am taking Michigan to win this game, the reason I think Michigan's got a better defense than Ohio State is this right here. You guys remember this? The start of the 4th quarter last year. They panned to the sidelines, and Mike Sainristil the wide receiver in 2021 in a Big Ten championship team, switched over to get more playing time, be a bigger impact, and frankly, had an NFL career, was standing up on a bench, gathered every single player in this defense, and basically said, in no uncertain terms, this is what we play for. This is what you came to Michigan for. This is what our entire season comes down to. We want to take every single thing we have and beat these guys here in the fourth quarter. And for me, Ohio State does not have this leadership. A guy like Mikey Sainristil, a 3-star wide receiver from Massachusetts, who was also a cornerback recruit, etc., came in his 5th year now in the program. That is the kind of guy. You've got 5th year Mikey Sainristil, the most winning player in the history of this program, Mike Barrett. You've got J.J. McCarthy, the winningest quarterback percentage-wise, right, of any quarterback who started 20 games or more in college football in the last 10 seasons. You got a guy like Blake Corum who has more heart than any player that's played in Michigan football, maybe since Mike Hart himself. The offensive line that's dominated Ohio State the last 2 years, I think the only advantage Ohio State might have right now in this game that's definite is the wide receiver group and the fact that Jim Harbaugh is in the field. I'm not giving Ryan Day the advantage, but I'm giving them an advantage of the fact that Jim Harbaugh isn't there. Let me know what you guys think on the defensive front. Give me an M or an O. Which team has a better defense in this game? I think it's probably, in my opinion, Georgia, maybe Alabama as of late. It's probably the best 2 defenses in all of college football. Give me an M or give me an O. And as always, light up the comment section, live chat, or the comment section. If you're watching this preview on Wednesday, we'll post it about noon or so Eastern time on Wednesday. Comment Bosa as many times as you can. Just remember, the effort you put in the comment section is going to bleed over to the vibes of this program. Go Blue. Beat Ohio State again. Let's get rolling in the comments. I will see you guys. I'll have a video out on Thanksgiving. I'll have a video out on Friday. Go Blue. All right, keep it rolling the live show. Thanks for everybody who's watching here on the Michigan Football Report. You know what we should do, Brett? We should live the live chat. See if we can, I think the live chat, let me see what it is. We still got 2 segments to go. We haven't done that great. 30. I know. 30 is the highest we've had in 1 minute. Let's take a look at these super chats. We've got one from Wolverine, Alaska. John Blaze has just rolled through, huh? Wow, John Blaze. He says, you always intentionally leave those in Alaska time at work. Brett, why don't you, it's Wolverine, Alaska. Brett, read it for me because my eyes are a little dim at this point.
He really needs glasses.
Yeah.
It's like sad. All right, Wolverine, Alaska. You always intentionally leave those in Alaska time at work while you drink, but you're still the #1 host. He's just saying you got to think about Alaskan time zone. I don't even know, 4 hours behind us?
I think it depends on when the time change happens because, remember Ricky in Brazil? I don't know if that happens with Alaska. What's that last part say? Who do you think will knock Harrison Jr. out of the game? We don't go for injuries. I'm going to give Wolverine, Alaska. But Will Johnson has got to play lockdown. Do you think they double? Or do you just think Marvin Harrison just kind of let him do his thing and dare Kyle McCord to try and beat you? I think they bracket him, whereas I kind of think they either play a zone bracket where they've got, they're basically giving him a hash mark and they've got one guy low, one guy high, hoping to double team, or they have a man coverage and plus a safety spy. So let me get Wolverine, Alaska. Wolverine, how's Leanne doing? Hope she's doing well. Got you in the helmet. Boop, right there next to Jim Printable, 2 of our best super chatters here. Who do I think next of the game? I think Will Johnson could happen, but he'll be on him so tight he won't be able to make that big hit. I'm going with Rod Moore. Rod Moore is due for a ball cover over the middle. He's played great over the last 4, 5, 6 weeks, and Marvin Harrison just takes one, not condoning injury, maybe just condoning got shook it up, and Wolverine, Alaska, and Marvin Harrison Jr. just wants to take a little bit of a break. Thank you so much, Wolverine, Alaska, one of our Super Chat MVPs of last season, continuing on to this season. Our biggest MVP, John Blaze. Let's see what he put in for a Super Chat as we were live on our Michigan-Ohio State preview. He says, Yoder, excellent 12 job on Urban. Liar. We'll win Saturday, win the Big Ten Championship, beat Washington in the playoff, and then go to Georgia for the Natty, See you there, and let's celebrate in Vegas. John, are we going to Vegas? Are we getting on a plane at 11 o'clock? I'm not putting it past us. I'm not sure what the last flight is out of Vegas or Houston on a Monday night to go to Vegas. But 2 years ago, as you know, John, Jeremy Chugs and I, noon game, went to Vegas, got like a 5 o'clock flight, had to bribe a TSA agent with $100 to hold the flight for 10 minutes so Jeremy can make it through because he doesn't have TSA pre or clear. Go Blue, chug for the team, 1,000 bucks to Go Blue for your help. So would I owe John like 2 or 3 chugs?
I mean, 100 is your beer bong.
Yeah, well, bring it over.
Do another one?
Yeah.
Whew, you guys.
Yeah, we'll do this one. Coors for John Blaze.
All right, while he's getting that set up, let's type some me's in the chat. Let's get some shout-outs going.
Can you guys, Brett, challenge the people, can we beat 30 chats per minute in less 60 seconds?
I think so. I can do it. I can do it by myself. So I bet John Blaze, Ashley Lawson, JW, they could do it by themselves too. A lot of me's in the chat. Dan gets the first one in. We'll get it going. Have a live chat pop up. Makes the people on YouTube show the video to more. We've got 2 more segments to get to. Lots of stuff to still talk about because it is Michigan, Ohio State. It's the game. The best rivalry in all of sports.
Is that coming from you, Brett, or is that just you placating?
No, not placating. I think this is probably the one. Auburn, Alabama is a great game.
Well, they've never had an 11-0 game. They've never had an undefeated game, let alone 10-0.
I mean, didn't even let me
say
finish.
it. No,
all right,
say it.
Dan, Michigan man, JW again, Michigan man again. A-Train 132. A-Train, he's your man, right? Mm-hmm. John Blaze says, Vegas! Oof, man. I was in Vegas a couple months ago. Oh, man. Phil saying me. Zaire me. John Blaze back again. Mike, Phil. Appreciate y'all getting in there, getting in the chat. We got to get it going. Becky and Chad.
Okay. So, Stalba, I saw us in the chat here. Before I take this one, give me some me's in the chat. Did we hit with the chat, right? Light up the chat for Brett. Producer Brett filled in. Should be with his family in Kansas, but he stayed back a day from us. We were supposed to take a trip to Kansas for Thanksgiving. Stayed with us to do this live show for everyone. And, myself, I enjoy it. Let's get light up. Type Brett in the chat. John Blaze, I got your chug back. Saw some style bombs in there. How about you like this one? So there's an account, Brett, called Tanner Scallions. Got it. Called himself Style Bombs. He's got the scoop, right? He said 43 minutes ago.
It's what?
But Connor Stallions, but Tanner Scallions.
Yeah, but why Tanner? Wouldn't it be Sonner?
I don't know, actually. I don't know the
Sonner
reason.
Callions?
Probably should be, but
okay.
Tanner Scallions. It probably sounds cooler. Per sources, and he's been dropping some bombs lately, former Ohio State staff members have reported that Ryan Day and Ohio State had illegally obtained Penn State football practice film during the week of their 2022 showdown in Happy Valley. He continues, from what I've gathered from sources on Ryan Day's access to other teams' Catapult Sports video. Now, there's been a discussion the last week or so, is that Catapult Sports provides like the all-22 film and all this practice film, et cetera, that Ryan Day had access to Penn State's Catapult Sports film, signals and practice film. Many are asking, does Ryan Day have connections to high up at Catapult from which he is illegally given access to other teams' film, or are there by other means? So that's the latest Style Bombs. If you guys aren't following him, I'll put actually his link in the chat for fun. This is Style Bombs. I don't know who runs it, but I'll tell you what, the information seems legit to me. So there it is right there. Let me do this one for John Blaze. Brett, I think you should take one.
It is at Tanner Scallions.
Yeah, Tanner Scallions.
Tanner Scallions.
Okay, ready?
Okay. Y'all thought Woj bombs were fun. That's funny.
John Blaze, let's ride.
The Twitter's the place.
Let's do this. Do you want to try and do a for John Blaze, because I might own 1 or 2 more bongs. Do you want to try and do a call an Ohio State fan?
Yes.
Okay.
Let's do it.
I typed Ryan Day into my phone, which is hilarious because I want to call this other Ryan. Let me get his number real quick. Guys, we're going to get an Ohio State fan. We're going to prank an Ohio State fan here. Let's get it going. I think if it doesn't work, Brett, from the computer the first time, you just try a second time.
Yeah, it didn't show up with our second buddy.
Crying Day from Zaire. John Blaze, the Crying Day. Speaking of Crying Day, not really, but Warbando did make it down to Dallas today. He was here. Got into town last night. Will leave tomorrow. So, not as not as contentious of a situation at Michigan. We're going to call a Ohio State fan.
All right. Let's give it a whirl. See if it'll ring this time.
Leave me on with this. It's pretty cool. Should I hear in my ear?
You should.
I don't.
Well, I know. I don't either. Hello?
I don't hear anything.
I know. It just doesn't seem to want to work.
Okay, I'm going to call him from the phone.
Brutal. I mean, this is why we got to practice things. It does say unavailable, so it did ring,
Oh,
but it didn't go through. Calling Ryan Day?
yes. His name is Ryan. It's too late for people to pick up until 8:15 Eastern. What a jerk. This is a good friend.
Voicemail, Ryan.
Yeah, okay. So let's I'm calling Ohio State, former Ohio State wide receiver coach, Zach Smith. They probably know. They're probably watching. Oh, Zach Smith says no. Hey, people, I think the jig is up.
What's up?
Oh, hey, Zach, what's going on? Sorry to call you just randomly.
No, you're good. Anytime.
Cool. So we're still going to talk tomorrow. I was looking at my schedule, but I did want to tell you, because you're live on YouTube, that Michigan's going to kick Ohio State's fucking ass on Saturday. You're going to be crying with all your fans. Ryan Day is getting fired, and you're going to remember this prank call. We should talk about it when we pre-record our show Wednesday afternoon. I'll text you later. Go Blue. Beat Ohio State again. You just got pranked live on YouTube. There you go. So that was Ohio State wide receiver coach Zach Smith.
No, bet you probably should have let him respond.
Level what?
You should have let him say something.
Probably should have. All right, so let's keep rolling. Brett, let's do we have enough questions for mailbag?
Yeah, we can get it started. Why
guys,
don't we
use
put it up on screen here, too. A little hashtag Michigan or Super Chat. And we'll get some mailbag questions going.
Use hashtag Michigan, just like I'm going to do on the screen here. Just like that, if you guys see the live chat. See if Zach texts me back. He said, Ryan says, finish up a work function. Can I call you back? Is it urgent? That'd be rude.
That'd probably be pretty brutal.
Not urgent, Ryan. Was pranking you live. Type pranking you.
This is how Mitch tweets during his live shows. He types it out and says it at the same time.
Yeah, that's what I should do. There you go. We do one more person. I can't believe Phil didn't pick up.
No, it's tough. We can try Phil again after the mailbag. People want their questions answered.
Is it wrong? Okay, cool. Let's do the questions. All right, let's go to the live mailbag here on the Michigan Football. We have a few super chats in there too that we can show as well, right? All right, let's get it rolling here on the show. We have got some. Let me get down to who's. I'm not going to do that. There we go. I am there. All right, let's take your questions about the next 12 to 15 minutes. Michigan football report. Then stick with us. You're watching live. We have got some Michigan football, what to watch for, and what Ryan Day's been saying in the press coming up at the end of the show before we sign off live. Let's get it rolling. Our Michigan football Ohio State mailbag. We got a question coming in from a real Wolverine fan. He says, "What's with all the Harbaugh to Bears and Raiders rumors? Any truth?" Good question, because it's been popping off in the news over the last few days. Our shows here at Chat Sports have been talking about it. They've been talking about it. Let me address this one really quick, Brett. We'll start over. We're going to tape this for the show for Thursday, but I did want to say to Dominic Franchillo. Dominic put a $20 super chat. We'll get to this question. And guys who are watching live, we're going to have to repeat ourselves because we'd like to take these cuts, put them up for people who can't watch live. But Dominic, $20 super chat. But Dom, I've been waiting for about 2 weeks now, and Dominic Francillo, I owe you the Don shirt. I owe you a Michigan football hard hat with your name on it, some others. You got to DM me on Twitter or Instagram. If you've got the links, it's at James Yoder. If you can maybe put in the lower third too. Dom, I'm going to get you on there. He says, go blue. Thank you. Go blue as well. Dominic. It's Francillo.
Dominic, I'm part of the shipping crew here at Chat Sports. Get him the address. I need to get this stuff out of my inventory, and you deserve it. You know. But really appreciate the support. He says, "Will do." Thanks, buddy.
At James Yoder on Twitter, DM me there, Dominic. Or if you want to comment your social media on a video tomorrow or this week, I'll keep searching your name and keep rolling. You got yourself 2 helmet stickers, so you continue to be on the end screens. There you go, right there at top. Dominic Francillo, thank you so much. He says, go blue. Dominic, let me get you the Don shirt. Let me get you a hard hat because you guys won. Because we did 2 weeks ago. We did a couple duck races for Super Chatters. We basically auctioned off some of the helmets to people who won. We put like 30 people in there, and it was super fun. That is Dominic Francillo, a Hard Hat Club member last year and continues to support the show this year. Thank you so much to him. Can get you that Don shirt. Going to get you that hard hat. DM me at James Yoder on Twitter. Michigan Football Report mailbag, breaking down some rumors, news, and a little Ohio State, Michigan, breaking down that game. First question coming in from Real Wolverine fan. He says, what's with all of the Harbaugh to Bears and Raiders rumors? Any truth? Well, there could be some truth. I think you never know what Jim Harbaugh is thinking. That's going to be the top question on today's Michigan Football Report. But I did want to ask anyone who is yet to subscribe to the show, now is the time. It's Michigan-Ohio State week. We are days away from the game. Hit that subscribe button below the video, or you can always go to the link, youtube.com/Michigan TV. Subscribe later if you want, but it helps a lot if you subscribe now. Send that link to a friend who loves Michigan football just as much as you are. Help them discover a little, the best recommendation always comes from a friend. You are that friend for your friends that love Michigan football. It is our live Michigan Wolverines Q&A for this Michigan football team. It's Michigan-Ohio State week, baby. I've said the word Michigan 3 times in the past 10 seconds. I can't say enough, but that's okay. I asked you guys this. Let's get to 100 likes within the first hour of this video going out. We're going to publish this on Thanksgiving. So you're watching on Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving. Hope you're enjoying time with your family. And you got 48 hours until Michigan is going to beat Ohio State again for the 3rd straight year. More likes equals more good karma for this Wolverines teams. And look, they need all the good karma without Jim Harbaugh, with all the haters and losers, of which there are many, just trying to take shots at this team. Hit the like on this video. Let's try to get to 100 likes in the first hour after we publish on Thursday morning. Go ahead to this question for your Wolverine fan. So what's with all the Harbaugh to Bears rumors? Any truth? Oh, man. I think a lot of things are on the line coming up this weekend. I think that this game has a lot of long-term and short-term impact for Michigan football, right? And Ohio State football. I think there's a lot of long-term impact for Michigan. I think there's more short-term impact for Ohio State. And what do I mean by that? An Ohio State loss impacts them more in the short term, okay? Let me explain that here in a moment, but I'll ask you guys this question here on the show. Who is more pressure? Who's more pressure this coming weekend? Let's talk about program, not any individual player, person, coach, fan. Who is there more pressure on this Saturday? Is it Michigan as a whole totality? Give me an M in the chat or in the comments. Or if it's Ohio State, give me an O. Because I think there's 2 different ways to think at it, which I'll break it down here now on the show. Let me know who is more pressure, Ohio State or Michigan. Ohio State loss, I think, to me, impacts them more in the short term, which in a lot of ways, that's sometimes all that matters in college football, college sports, is they could make an overreaction. You might think it's crazy that they would fire a coach who's got right now, I believe, the best winning percentage in all of college football on that trying day, but a 3rd straight loss to Michigan, a loss against an interim coach. not winning or beating Michigan for the 4th straight season because the game didn't happen in 2020. That's tough for Ohio State and their fans and their alumni and their boosters and their administration. That's a tough pill to swallow. So there's a lot of pressure on both teams. I think a loss to Ohio State on Saturday affects Ohio State more in the short term. They may get drastic at the quarterback position. They might go say, hey, Kyle McCord, you lost an 11-0 record. We need a better quarterback because you lost to Michigan. Okay, Ryan Day, you've had a better record than Urban Meyer over your first 5 years. We need to upgrade at coach. We need to fire you. So it also maybe takes a little of the cachet off Ohio State as being the dominant team in the Big Ten. Go back to the first part about Brett. I want to talk about the Michigan's long-term success. I didn't want to make sure I hit that point because I think I skipped over a little bit. I think Michigan's long-term success is on the table on Saturday. What do I mean by that? If Michigan beats Ohio State, everything is back to normal. Jim Harbaugh is back on the sidelines next week, okay, in the Big Ten championship game against the Cade, McNamara, and Eric Hall-less Iowa team. He gets to coach Michigan into the college football playoff. And then if he decides to go on and leave to Michigan, then they'll find a coach. Everything will be on the up and up. But if Michigan loses to Ohio State, I think you're going to find that a lot of college football pundits, fans from every other team in the country outside of Michigan will say, last 3 years are crap. These players are crap. All cheating. Nothing's going good this program, and Michigan might struggle to continue to recruit for a little while. They'll have a stain on them as a program, and Sherrone Moore will probably be forced to take the job if Jim Harbaugh were to leave, even if he's not the best candidate, which he could definitely be, because I think 3 seasons of games are basically played on Saturday, Michigan versus Ohio State. Speaking of this game, I think Sherrone Moore, you could maybe take a stab and say he's auditioning for his job as Michigan football head coach coming up in the future if Jim Harbaugh were to leave this program. So I think it's something to keep in mind. I think it's something to take a look at. But what I want to talk about now is the Jim Harbaugh rumors. Jim Harbaugh to the NFL rumors. They are piping hot. They are all over the place right now as a media organization. They're talking about nonstop. Jim Harbaugh is in the news for a lot of bad things. The NFL is looking at him. And this brand right here, The Athletic, who I'm not a big fan of. Let's take a look at this quote here from Mike Jones from The Athletic on Jim Harbaugh. He says, Harbaugh is among those expected to receive consideration in the next hiring cycle, according to a league source who has been briefed in discussions hiring NFL officials have had about potential head coaching candidates. So there's half of the quote there, but it's been coming out last week, the week before. Harbaugh to the Bears, Harbaugh to the Raiders, Harbaugh to this job, Harbaugh to the next job. Jones continues. By the way, Mike Jones, sweet name. Mike Jones, who, 2 of the league sources who regularly talk with teams about hiring and firing decisions, said that at least 2 teams, the Chicago Bears and the Las Vegas Raiders, are believed to be among those that would appeal to Harbaugh. Now, why would that be the case? Why would someone say that? Why would Jim Harbaugh be interested in the Bears or the Raiders? Well, there's 2 reasons, right? If you look at the whole arc of Jim Harbaugh's career, there's 3 teams you could really connect him to, right? It's the Bears, the Indianapolis Colts, that he played there as a player. Funny enough, there's a couple videos going on the internet this week of Harbaugh throwing touchdown passes to Marvin Harrison, which is funny, Harvard Jr.'s dad. And then, of course, it's the Raiders because he was actually the quarterback's coach when their quarterback, Rich Gannon, won the NFL MVP in 2002. He was the quarterback's coach. So he has some affiliation there, some past history, very close to Al Davis for those 2 years he was in Las Vegas. And I think Mark Davis would say, hey, Jim, come home, new city. By the way, where did Jim Harbaugh meet his wife? In Las Vegas. They were walking into like what's the restaurant that has the huge menu, Cheesecake Factory, and he approached her, right? She used to live in Las Vegas like a real estate agent. They started dating there when he was, I believe, at San Diego as the head coach back in like 2006, 2007. So I can see why those go. Indianapolis, the other one. Maybe you could say the Chargers, because I think Harbaugh played there for 1 year, although he was like the 3rd string quarterback and then ended up retiring with the then San Diego Chargers. If not those, Sherrone Moore. If Sherrone Moore does not perform on the field against Ohio State, if he loses bad or just does not look like he's ready to be the head coach at a Michigan football program, then who would potentially be Michigan's football coach? I will tell you my 5 top picks that Michigan should approach here in a second. But before we do, I want to tell you about Prize Picks, the presenting sponsor of the Michigan Football Report. It's awesome. It's fun. It's the easiest and fastest way to play daily fantasy sports. All you do is pick more or less on player stats to win up to 25 times your money with Prize Picks. Prize Picks even offers a reboot policy so that your entries stay in play even if one of your players gets injured. For football and basketball games, if you have a player who exits the game in the first half and does not return in the second, that player is rebooted, removed from your Prize Picks entry. Prize Picks is the only daily fantasy sports platform with an injury insurance policy. Here's some picks that we are making here this week on the Michigan Football Report. This is from our guy, Tom Downey. Brett, you have to read them to me, because they're too far away from me.
Oh, man. All right. Well, Tom's been really good.
Okay.
Tom is really good at this stuff.
All right.
Brian Robinson.
Okay.
This is a Thursday mashup, all right? Thanksgiving Day mashup. Brian Robinson Jr., running back for the Washington Commanders, more than 41.5 rushing yards against the Cowboys.
All right.
Jordan Love, quarterback for the Green Bay Packers.
All right.
More than 235.5 passing yards against the Lions. Love did have a good game this week against the Chargers. And Jake Ferguson, who has become one of Dak Prescott's best targets, more than 37.5 receiving yards. I'm going to go take this one myself.
I'm actually doing myself, too. I trust Tom. He knows what he's doing. That's how easy it is with Prize Picks. You can play NFL, NBA, college basketball, college football. So get in the app Thursday, Friday, Saturday morning. Take a look at J.J. McCarthy. Take a look at his passing yards, his rushing yards. Donovan Edwards, passing, receiving. Blake Corum, Marvin Harrison Jr., Kyle McCord, Abeka Imuka, Cade Stover, TreVeyon Henderson. Just pick more or less. They'll put a number. TreVeyon Henderson, 79 rushing yards, more or less. That's all you've got to do. You can pick 3 games, risk 5. You win yourself, I think it's 5 for 25, right? If you can get up to 25 times your money by making 6 correct picks, and you get a $100 deposit match when you use promo code CLNS and the link PrizePicks.com/CLNS. The link is in the comments. The link is in the description. And we will put the link here in the live chat on the Michigan Football Report. I love Prize Picks. I think you'll love it too. Go download the app, PrizePicks.com/CLNS. Use promo code CLNS for a $100 deposit match. If so, it's not true or more. Who is it? By the way, Brett, Jack just sent us a picture of them watching the Michigan Football Report on his little vacation. We should toss that in the show. We should. External Michigan football candidates is a lot of things that people have asked me about this a lot over the past few weeks, ever since this Harbaugh situation has started, the Connor Stallion situation has started. And I talked about these a little bit last week, so let's take a look at them. Here's my top 5 external coaching candidates. I think Dan Lanning, if you look at the arc of college football and NFL football, the coaching tree of all coaching trees, it starts with Bill Parcells. Bill Parcells then groomed Bill Belichick, who then groomed Nick Saban, who then groomed Kirby Smart, who then groomed Dan Lanning, 37 years old, in his second season at Oregon, has them right at the top of college football. I've got him as my number 1 external candidate if Sherrone Moore is not up for the job. Then I've got Kalen DeBoer at Washington. Those guys are going to face each other, most likely, in another week in the Pac-12, the final Pac-12 championship. He is a winner at all levels of football. He's got like a 93% winning percentage. He's got 3 different jobs he's had in coaching. He was a head coach at Fresno State, now head coach at Washington. Prior to that, he was actually offensive coordinator with Indiana. Mike Hart was kind of one of his staff, on the staff there at Indiana at the same time. I think Kalen DeBoer could be one of the great next college football coaches. He should be number 2 call for Michigan. Next one's Matt LaFleur, head coach of the Packers. Jed Fish, Michigan offensive coordinator, 2015-16 co-OC, passing game coordinator. And then Jamie Chadwell did great with Coastal Carolina and has done phenomenal in his first year with Liberty. Got them in the top 25, undefeated at 11-0. Those are my top 11 external coaching candidates top 5 external coaching candidates for this Michigan football team. Let's keep the roll in the show. We've got questions coming in as we are live on Tuesday night. Michigan football mega preview against Ohio State. Ask you guys this question, as we just had the college football top 25 revealed here on Tuesday. Will Jim Harbaugh be Michigan's head coach in 2024? Just go into the live chat or into the comments. Let me know. Simple yes or no. Will Jim Harbaugh be Michigan's head coach in 2024? We got a no coming in from A-Train, a yes coming in from Ken. Ken in our first 2 answers there in the live chat. Let me know what you guys think. live chat or in the comments if you're watching this on Thursday. Adam, what's the name? Harrington there. He says $20 super chat. So appreciate the $20 super chat, Adam. He says, what's the status on Jim's contract? Does the weather look to factor in on Saturday? So let's talk about the contract first, because I've been checking the weather for like 2 weeks. It gets in that 10-day forecast on your iPhone. I'm looking at it left and right. I got a bunch of cities here on my iPhone. So let's take a look at that as I'm talking about Jim Harbaugh's contract. It seems like the contract has been put on a little bit of a hold. Although the Regents, Jordan Acker, and others, Santa Ono, seem to be all in on Jim Harbaugh, the fact that it definitely appears that Chris Partridge was part of some cover-up, which he directly reports to Jim Harbaugh, has put a pause on it. Was talking it should happen this week. It's probably happened not. It's a damn shame it hasn't happened already. I'm not sure why it hasn't happened, but from what the tea leaves and one or two people who have like a little bit of information, maybe one talks to Jim Harbaugh's lawyer from time to time, maybe that's my source there. It seems like it's not going to happen until at least after the Big Ten championship game as of now. Now, as far as the weather is concerned, let's take a look at the forecast for Saturday. We got a high of 37, a low of 21. At kickoff, we've got 31 degrees, but no snow now. It was like 35% chance of rain a couple days ago, 0% chance of precipitation at all. That is the weather forecast. So I think a non-windy, cold day favors Michigan in this game. Sainristil is at wide receiver in 4 or 5 wide set. Will be interesting for a few plays. Your thoughts? Love it. That's awesome. Bill Graves, a longtime viewer of the show, many time super chatter. I love it. I absolutely do. It'd be something that changed. It wouldn't be something Ohio State expects. And Sainristil, look, he was on the field catching touchdown passes in 2021. He was blocking downfield in the Big Ten championship game when Blake Corum took it to the house on the first touchdown of the game. Great suggestion. If it happens, Bill Graves, you were a Michigan football fan legend forever. How about this one coming in from the fourth brother, Bosa brother, who's using our Beat Ohio State Again acronym. He says, you're Michigan's head coach on Saturday. Give me the game plan. Okay, so I'm Michigan football's head coach on Saturday against Ohio State. Give you the game plan. So let's break it down by offense and defense. Grab my sip of water because I've definitely got a lot of thoughts on this one. I think that Michigan needs to take what they are given early on in the game, much like they did in 2021. They were down 10-3 early in that first quarter in that game, and they didn't panic on offense. It wasn't until the middle of the second quarter Michigan really even passed the ball aggressively, and that was because they were getting blitzed, and they had to throw the ball off to the left sideline to Cornelius Johnson. Next possession, downfield to Cornelius Johnson. But take what you're given early. If Ohio State, for the 30 in a row, is trying to just absolutely stop the running attack, definitely did that in the first half last year, have a little bit of ability to throw the ball. Don't just sit there and say, we're going to force the run, because just like I do, the team that runs the ball better in this game is going to win. So definitely take what you're given early. I think the play action passes and flea flickers are going to be a big difference in this game. Play action pass is the first touchdown in the second half last year against Ohio State. The flea flicker definitely got Roman Wilson open down the sideline from a backup quarterback, J.J. McCarthy, in 2021. I think Blake Corum is going to be a big difference in this game. So in offense, I would ride Blake Corum. Okay? He was injured in 2021, got his one big run in the second half. He didn't play in 2022 other than a couple snaps as just like vanity snaps for Michigan. But get him as 25, 28, 31 carries, because over time we've seen over the past 3 seasons that when Blake Corum continues to run the ball, he'll break that 40-yarder. Inside the 10-yard line, I think even if Ohio State knows it, you've got to give the ball to Blake Corum. How about the Don? The Don. Run the Don downfield in the passing game. Michigan did it as a freshman against Maryland. It's been missing, though. It really has. They did it a couple of times against Hawaii last year in 2022. The Don downfield. With Roman Wilson injured, Samaj Morgan, Frederick Moore, others have not really stepped up as a third or fourth receiver. I think if Michigan runs the Don downfield, gets him the ball in space, 15, 20 yards downfield, only thing that can happen is either it's an incomplete pass, unless JJ makes a mistake, or it is a touchdown Michigan. Touchdown Michigan, the Don. And Michigan needs to also employ that 6 and 7 offensive lineman setup that they had against Penn State. That would be a big change versus the last couple of years. They've never employed that against Ohio State. And last but not least, J.J. McCarthy is banged up. He's injured. I should be able to have an injury report for you guys on late Thursday or early Friday. But even if he's got the ankle injury from the Purdue game 3 weeks ago, even if he's got the knee injury from Penn State 2 weeks ago, which he probably will, run J.J. McCarthy when they absolutely least expect it. One of the favorite plays of my life of this Michigan football team was third quarter last year when J.J. McCarthy took off on the right side in a read action play and just ducked his head on 2 Ohio State defenders and knocked them both down to the ground. Run J.J. when it's least expected. So about the defensive side of the ball. Shut down the running game early. I'm talking to you, Chris Jenkins. I am talking to you, Mason Graham. But maybe more importantly, I am talking to the outside guys. Jalen Harrell. I'm talking to Josiah Stewart. I am talking to the outside defenders for Michigan. TreVeyon Henderson likes to bounce it outside. We saw the Notre Dame game for them. We saw it the last 4 weeks for this Ohio State team. You've got to shut down the running game for this team. How about Mike Sainristil? I think Marvin Harrison Jr. is someone you've got to double or bracket all game. But when that happens, the second option for Kyle McCord is going to be Cade Stover. Who's his father? It is Mike Sainristil, and he knocked the ball away from him last year. Sainristil needs to be the guy you have on Cade Stover. Put Will Johnson and Marvin Harrison Jr., put Makari Page or Rod Moore over the top against them. Get more of these plays. You see these guys in one-on-one coverage. Even though Stover has 8 inches of height over Mike Sainristil, the guy that made the play was little Mikey Sainristil from Massachusetts, who the guy I think is the Michigan's team MVP this year. I think Emeka Egbuka is someone that Michigan needs to be concerned with. Injured just like TreVeyon Henderson all season, but he's returned with a vengeance in some regards. He is not, in my opinion, a deep threat for Ohio State consistently like Harrison is, like a few other players could be for Ohio State. He is the underneath valve for this team, for Kyle McCord specifically. Make sure he doesn't get anything going under 10 yards, right? Spy him with a linebacker, spy him with a safety under 10 yards. But if he breaks up field, kind of going across the field, or if he just releases deep on any passing routes, don't waste a player trying to guard Emeka Egbuka, double team him or bracket him. He has not proved to be a deep threat. I think that Josh Wallace or Mike Sainristil maybe, or any Michigan safeties could cover Emeka Egbuka downfield in a one-on-one situation. And last but not least, you got to confuse Kyle McCord pre-snap. Show blitz and then don't blitz, right? Get guys in line, show blitz, back up, okay? Blitz in ways that the film won't show. Trust me that Ohio State is watching more film this week than they have any week of the year, trying to get Michigan's tendencies. They probably got stolen film as well, just like maybe Connor Stallions did. Blitz when they are not expecting it. I'm not a football coach, so I can't tell you exactly when and where that should be, but that is the game plan for Michigan. Overall, I've got 10,000% confidence in the Michigan football team. If you play as a team, if you're there for each other, no one on this Ohio State team, not a single person on this Ohio State team knows how to beat Michigan. Right? The last time it happened in 2019, there's not a single contributor to this Ohio State team that was a contributor back in 2019. Michigan players know how to beat Ohio State. Ohio State players do not know how to beat Michigan. Play as a team, play for each other, and you will walk out of Michigan Stadium on Saturday, and you will have beat Ohio State again. Talk more on these questions. We got Wolverine Alaska, the super chat god. He says, any updates on the injury report? What was Wilson's injury? Concussion? By the way, Leanne started her first job. Great news on Leanne. Did we get Wolverine Alaska earlier? Is this from earlier or is this from just now? We'll get you a super chat sticker here in a moment, Wolverine Alaska. I'm optimistic but cautious on Roman Wilson. He took a shot to the head, instantly taken out of the game. Hasn't been practicing on Monday, hasn't been practicing on Tuesday. We're going to know on Thursday morning, Friday maybe with the walkthrough whether he will play. I'm not putting my money on this right now. I hope to be wrong, but we will see. Other questions, injury report. I think everybody's healthy. I think Ladarius Henderson's going to play. Miles Hinton is 50-50, but he's not a starter, so I don't think it's really going to matter. But Roman Wilson is going to be the big one. J.J. McCarthy, definitely still limping. He's got an ankle injury. He's got a knee injury. May even have an elbow injury. And whatever they gave to Lance Harbaugh in the movie Varsity Blues, give that to J.J. on Saturday because they absolutely need J.J. running the ball, passing the ball without any pain. Make sure you guys are commenting. Bosa beat Ohio State again over and over and over and over every time you can on the VOD, on demand, or on the live stream on Tuesday night. Beat Ohio State again. Michigan's going to do it. Third straight year. Let's go blue. Beat Ohio State again. I can't wait until Saturday. Go Blue. All right, let's keep things rolling as Michigan is number 3 in the 4th college football playoff top 25. All right, so what do you think the price is, Brett, for a Ohio State offensive starter dad to come on the show? What do you think the price would be? He didn't give me a price. He said, what are they offering?
Woo!
All right.
It's probably got to be like a Max Super, doesn't it?
I've got it. I've got
He didn't
a.
give you a price? That's on him. It's,
How about I'll offer him 1,000? See if someone does that. Collectively do 1,000.
woo. Yeah. I mean,
I'll offer it. That would probably be the thing. So, starter of a very, 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 very prominent Ohio State player we've talked about in the show. I just said we would have him on the show. We said, what are they offering? I said, we'll pay you if we get 1,000 super chats from going forward. We would give all that to him for his services donated to the Ohio State NIL Fund or Son. But I think it'd be fun. I don't think we're going to get it, and it's even fine, but we'll offer it to have an Ohio State, father from Ohio State, starter, offense, prominent, maybe a guy who does one of these. Gives him a super chat, get to 1,000. We'll see what he says here coming up, but that will be the latest. Let's keep rolling with the show. We still have more to talk about here on the Michigan Football Report. Coming up on 7:48 Central Time, 8:48 Eastern Time. What do you think, Brett? Should we do the rest of the video or want to save it for tomorrow? Okay, that's so good. So let's put up. Okay, yeah, put up a few questions. We got a few more questions. We'll do another video. We'll film it tomorrow. Probably post it on Friday for this show. Bill Graves coming up. He says, Grant and Johnson will be key defensively and Wilson and Loveland offensively. Your thoughts? And, of course, Bill Graves, give me a hashtag Bosa. Tough one. I mean, I think you mean Will Johnson on that one. There's a few Johnsons in the Michigan defense. Mason Grant. Oh, yeah, of course. So let's talk about the offensive side. Wilson and Loveland. When I think about last year's game with Michigan, Ohio State, the play that really, I think, gave Michigan super confidence was that J.J. McCarthy, he had the orbit motion behind him, turned around, stepped up in the pocket, and just fired it downfield, 4 yards of space to Colson Loveland, true freshman Colson Loveland, who 2 or 3 weeks prior was the 3rd string tight end on this team. And I just think that in general, I think about a guy like Samaj Morgan, okay, 5th receiver on this team, but it's getting involved in interesting ways. You think about the jump pass from Kalel Mullings last year. All right. Whoa, we got a call coming in, Brett? Oh, got a testing it. Think about the jump pass last year from Kalel Mullings. You think about the flea flicker in 2021, back to J.J. McCarthy, true freshman J.J. McCarthy. Colson Loveland last year was kind of that play, is that no one in the house expected. That's why he was able to fake a block, go out and up, and get a touchdown for Michigan to take the lead in the 3rd quarter. As far as Ron Wilson's concerned, is Michigan needs him to open up this game. If he's not in the game or he's hobbled or anything like that, it's going to be an absolute nightmare for this Michigan offense to move the ball because Ohio State, frankly, if he's not in the game, it's Cornelius Johnson and a couple tight ends that have proven themselves and no one else has. So, great question, Bill. I don't think the game necessarily revolves around Ron Wilson being healthy or not, but I certainly think that if he is not in the game, this Michigan offense is going to be absolutely hampered, especially with J.J. McCarthy being injured, knee injury, ankle injury, maybe a little bit more. Let's take a look at that. Next question. I'm confident about Saturday's game, really confident from Michigan, man. I am too. I think the people who aren't confident have focused too much on the Jim Harbaugh factor, which is a factor, have focused a little too much on the fact that Michigan didn't look as good this past Saturday. Ohio State looked a little bit better. And the fact that J.J. McCarthy has not thrown a touchdown pass in the month of November. I'm still confident. I've got Michigan win this one by 2 or 3 scores. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. I see Ken Kenyon. I see Will Flanagan. I see Andrew Allison lighting it up with Bosa. Light it up because we have got, folks, 4 days till the game. Light up the Bosas live in the chat. Michigan Football Report. Wyatt Barnes says score prediction. He's got 23-7 Michigan. I've got 42-24 Michigan. I'm keeping it. It's like a jinx for me. I did 42 2 years in a row. They won 42-24 Michigan. Took the text. Oh man. He says he would do it for free, but he's got to stay quiet in this one. So that's no players, parents coming out of this one. He wouldn't even charge. He would do it for free, but doesn't want to get in the new media, doesn't want to get headlines, which is probably a good thing for him as we come on Saturday. But we threw it out there. Lance Fleury says, thoughts on any juicy trick plays on Saturday? One guy I'm looking at here, Samaj Morgan. What a come up for this guy. He caught a great pass against Rutgers. He's had a couple other touchdowns as of recently. The one about 4 weeks ago, I can't remember which game it was. He caught it in like a 3 wide receiver bunch on the right sideline and just like juked 5 guys. It was Peter Work in 1999 and got in the end zone. Did the same thing on the end around this past week. Got in the end zone, put the ball out there. I think Samaj Morgan is one to keep an eye on for Michigan come up on Saturday. The other one is, I don't know if it's a trick play as much, but just imagine if Donovan Edwards and Blake Corum are lined up in the backfield at the same time. Edwards goes out and goes on a 2 wide receiver set. And Cornelius Johnson, Roman Wilson come right, and Edwards goes down the left sideline with a linebacker or maybe a slower safety on him. And J.J. McCarthy, his 2021 classmate, just puts it up and in the breadbasket down the left sideline. That's not necessarily a trick play, but it's one that I think should be in Michigan's playbook and should go to. Speaking of Donovan Edwards, we haven't seen him throw a pass, so he threw that absolute beauty, 41 yards to Roman Wilson, the second touchdown against Iowa in the 2021 Big Ten Championship game. Why haven't we seen that? This is the game for it. Kalel Mullings, little jump pass, got to do better than last year, but Michigan has proven in the biggest games under Jim Harbaugh the last 3 seasons that they can and will have trick plays. So those are some that I just thought of off the top of my head. Let's see if you guys want us to stay live as my shoe came untied. I've had a good shoe tie streak, but nevertheless, these on clouds that I wear for shows that are just nice and easy to spring off are coming untied. If you guys want to stay live, what's the number, Brett? 200? 100? Let's stay live.
I know. I think it's any super chat.
Any super chat? We'll stay live for another 2 minutes.
2 minutes.
Any super chat, we're going to put up a
the
clock
countdown.
here for 2 minutes. Any super chat in the next 2 minutes. We will stay live for another 2 minutes, but things will escalate from there. Anyone who wants to get a question in, use hashtag Bosa or super chat. Stay live for 2 more minutes, and you will get your question on the show. We will have the Michigan-Ohio State preview from a little bit earlier. That'll be up on the channel on Wednesday. We will have the Michigan-Ohio State mailbag on Thursday, a little Thanksgiving special, and then we will record our things to watch for. Ryan Day, kind of a scumbag playing both sides of things. He's in my crosshairs, let me tell you that. And we'll put a video up on Friday. And I'll probably do a late night Friday night Michigan-Ohio State injury report after I get the final word on J.J. McCarthy, Roman Wilson, Ladarius Henderson, and others that maybe were limping or so the last week. 1 minute, 20 seconds, 1:15. Anyone who super chats, we will continue to stay live. We'll add 99 cents, $2, $5, whatever it is. We'll add another 2 minutes to the clock. We're going to raise it up from there. Anyone can join the show by using hashtag Michigan in the live chat. We'll take a couple questions. Let me ask a couple questions to you guys. Want to stay live? You got 1 minute. Anyone who super chats, hit that super chat button at the bottom of your phone or on your web browser. Who is your favorite Michigan football player of all time? I gave mine last week, I think it was. My top 5 in order: Charles Woodson, Braylon Edwards, J.J. McCarthy, Hassan Haskins, Donovan Edwards. In order: Woodson, Braylon, J.J., Haskins, Donovan Edwards. Those are my 5 top players.
2 current?
What?
2 current?
2 current players, yeah.
Wow.
2 current players, yeah. There you go, Andrew Ellison with the $2 super chat. We'll let it go down. We'll give it 2 more minutes, but now it says $10 or higher to stay live for 2 more minutes. Take questions here on the Michigan Football Report. You can by using hashtag Michigan. Anthony Thomas from the A Train. I actually think it is A Train. I think it is Anthony Thomas that is covering the show, right? I think it is. I love the A Train. 1997, by the end of his true freshman year, starting running back for a Michigan National Championship season. His touchdown record, though, Blake Corum is coming up on 55 touchdowns for this Michigan football program. I felt that 2000 team with Henson, Terrell, what's his name? Marquise Walker, and of course the A Train. I thought that was the most talented Michigan offense of my lifetime, but unfortunately they couldn't get it done when it counted in a few games, ended up losing 3 games that season. That was an amazing offense. Andrew Allison says, Bosa. Brett, what do you want to add in?
I was just going to add in $2 from T-Berry, too.
T-Berry, let's add another 2 minutes to the shot clock. We got to get to, we said 10, right?
Yeah, we got to get up a little
So we
bit.
got to get 8
This
more.
one still came in about when we started the clock.
Okay, so $8 more that we will stay live. Anyone wants to super chat, $8 more. There's
T-Berry
5 from
with another
T-Berry.
one.
If Ted Cruz got to glow up, Ryan Day is the after shot. I don't know what that means.
I'm too old.
I don't know what that means, T-Berry. But if anyone wants to donate $3 more in the next 56 seconds, we will stay live for another 5
I got another
minutes.
question to ask, too.
What's that?
Well, we got to get that $3.
Oh, Brett's got another question he has for the people. So there you go, T-Berry with a 5 and a 2. T-Berry, you give me the 3 more. We'll get you a hard hat sticker as well. You will be an immortalized legend. You will be on the end screen to this show on YouTube for the entire year after the 2023 season into
Andrew's got it.
2024. Andrew's got it with a $10 super chat. Andrew Allison, we owe him a sticker. Let me get that. So don't start the clock yet. Andrew Allison. Andrew, you're immortalized. You'll be on the end screen. I messed up his name. I messed up the W. Andrew Allison.
All right, Andrew asked, chances of Blake, Donovan in the same backfield inside the 5 with Grant at fullback. Bosa. Blake, Corum,
Yeah, I got it. I'm just thinking about
Donovan
the Grant
Edwards.
part. Kenneth Grant.
Kenneth Grant.
I mean, this brings back some William Carr 1995 Purdue game vibes to me. Brett, you might not remember this because you're a Michigan football historian, but let me tell you a little something about that game. In 1995, a very good Michigan football team went into Purdue in a monsoon, and they won a game. I think it was either 5-2 or 5-3. I think it was 5-3. Maybe that's not the game. I think it was the next year. Okay, so it's 5-3 in 1995. 1996, they lost to Purdue. That's what it was. They gave it to William Carr, their defensive tackle, who was like 345 pounds. Late in the game, because he was a fullback tight end, gave him the handoff, just like the TCU game last year with Khalil Mullings. He fumbled the goal line for Michigan going in for the game-winning score. So I don't like that, Kenneth Grant. Give me vibes of Purdue back in the 90s. And I can't remember the years, but that's the vibes I am getting. But chances of Blake and Donovan in the same backfield inside the 5, we haven't seen it this year yet. We haven't seen it. And
Why?
I think – what?
Why?
I don't know. I think they've.
I know Edwards has been hurt, and now Corum too a little bit.
I think they've underused the Don this year. I don't think they put him in the strengths that his game has said. I think they should have rolled him out more. And we saw both those guys in the game at such a higher clip the first 4 or 5 games of the year than we've seen the last 5 or 6 games of the year. So if we see it, it can only confuse Ohio State. What I would do is this: I would put Blake Corum and Donovan Edwards in the backfield, like an I formation. JJ under center, and then I would audible, back up, have Corum next to me on one side, the Don on the other side, and then send the Don on out to the left side in motion, etc. Fake hand off to him, hand off to Blake Corum up the middle, right? Just so basically the same play, a Corum up the middle, but make one linebacker go off to the side to cover Donovan Edwards and less people in the middle. So thank you so much to Andrew Allison.
All right, let's
Ashley
restart the
Lawson
clock
with a $10 super chat. She gives the Michigan maize and blue hearts. Let me get her super chat sticker. Ashley Lawson. We should call her the Law. She's the Law.
All
Hey,
right.
Law.
Here's the question I got.
All right.
We got 2 other super chats while the clock goes,
All right.
and you guys answer the question. Everybody loves a good uniform debate. Vote. Traditional or all blues on Saturday? Which uniforms should Michigan wear? Traditional or the all blues?
Let me know in the comments. Let us know traditional or the all blues. The maize pants and the blue tops, or the all blues that were used in 2021 to beat Ohio State again. Ashley Lawson, once more time. I think we owe you a couple stickers, but I added that one in real time. Ashley Lawson is on there. Let me know what you guys think as we will stay live another 2 minutes. I think the Los Angeles came in with one. So with Los Angeles, Mike K, and the other one, I think we're 99 cents away from another 2 minutes. So 99 cents from another 2 minutes as Mike K has this question. We'll go back to it. Keep commenting. Traditional or all blues? Mike says, and I quote, I got to find this chat in here.
MSU sucks.
He says MSU sucks. Okay.
OSU swallows.
He says MSU sucks.
Go Blue.
OSU Swallows, go blue, meet Ohio. I mean, I can't argue with that. I think it's probably the facts. I mean, Michigan State kind of reminds me of Maryland in some ways. I'm just so disappointed in that Maryland stadium, that Maryland vibe. I was talking to Maryland fans. I was in the lines for beers. They just don't care about football at all. They don't care if they lost or won the game. And it was really disappointing. Now, what wasn't disappointing, Brett, is I would say total number was like 15 Yoders at the game or at the bar. A guy asked if I would dance with his girlfriend at the bar. If you remember the guy who approached me at, I should look at my text.
Does your wife know this?
What's that?
Does your wife?
I didn't do the dancing, but I say he approached me, asked me to. I'm going to look up the name of the bar because it was kind of funny.
While you're doing that, let's get to the Lost Angels here.
Loonies in College Park, Maryland. We were lighting up the dance floor trying to wait for an Uber after the Michigan-Maryland game.
All right, well, Ohio State fans had their fun trolling us. It's time to put up and shut up. If we blow them out of the water, what is their excuse going to be this time?
This means so much because if Michigan wins like the last 2 years, it validates and vindicates everything. And Michigan then goes with Georgia as the 2 favorites to win the national championship, and it vindicates everything. And Jim Harbaugh is re-energized, and Jim Harbaugh wants to return to Michigan next season. Maybe Jimmy McCarthy wants to. If they lose, the hate is just going to be so unbearable. Now, I'm going to be still riding with Michigan. I know you guys will be too, but it's going to be nonstop. All these mouthpieces like Pete Feinbaum and others are just going to be saying, stolen signs. I think it might hurt Michigan's recruiting, might hurt their ability to hire another coach if Jim Harbaugh decides, you know what, that's it, I'm going to go to the NFL. So I do think this game has so much of an impact on the future of this Michigan football program. Let's do a 60-second shot clock. 60 seconds. 60-second shot clock. If we get a $10 super chat, we'll stay live for 5 more minutes. But Brett's got kids to put to bed, so we'll have to wrap it up sooner than later. Here we go. When I stay live, we say $10? $10 if any hard hat member you want to get on there. Messed up Ashley Lawson's name once. I won't do it again. $10 super chat, we'll stay live. You don't have to. No force in there. 45 seconds. We will stay live for another 5 minutes. Is that what I said? I think I said 5 minutes. 10 minutes? 5 minutes.
I mean, with as much as you talk, it's probably about 5 minutes. Yeah.
Brett from the cheap sheets calling me a talker, but it's not a bad thing. But it's tough to talk for 2.5 hours straight. It's not easy.
Andrew,
got $10 super chat.
Oh yeah.
Who we got? Andrew Allison with another 10. So we will stay live for 5 more minutes. Brett, let's just go to part of that segment, right? The things that will add Andrew's $10. He is on the super chat. Let's just talk about some of those Ryan Day quotes.
Yeah, they're kind of not built very well.
Okay, we won't do it then.
I might be able to.
All right.
Let me see if I can piece it together.
I will talk about him a little bit. I want to talk about Ryan Day a little bit. Andrew Allison, you are getting another super chat sticker. My man, my star. We're staying live for 5 more minutes. There you are. I think, where'd I go? Where'd I put it at?
It's on top.
Oh, yeah, right here. Boop. There you go. Andrew Allison with the $5 super chats. Ryan Day's been talking to the media, and that's his job during the week, Monday through Friday, maybe a little bit on Sunday. But some of the things he said have, I want to say, pissed me off. They've irritated me because I just think the guy is soft. I don't necessarily think that he is long for this job at Ohio State. He'd never been to an Ohio State game, never been to a Big Ten game in his entire life before he got the job as offensive coordinator there in the 2017 season. What do you about this quote here? We're going to toss it up? Toss this quote up, though. He says, I was taught, and he was asked about whether he respects Michigan, whether this whole Spygate and scandal and Jim Harbaugh and all that stuff have stopped him. He says, I was taught that the way you respect the rivalry is to work every day, whether it's in the weight room, whether it's in the game planning, talking to your players, periods of practice during the spring, periods in practice in the preseason. Ryan Day trying to play Mr. Nice Guy because Jim Harbaugh earlier in the day on Monday had basically given a non-answer to whether he respects Ryan Day. He continued. He says, not that it's easy, but the only thing that matters in this game is this team is preparing. The rest of it doesn't matter. So that's what we have to do. We have got to stay disciplined enough to focus on that. Now, Day was asked if this game was personal to him, if this game meant more than past year games, if he wanted to win it more than just being the coach of Ohio State, if it meant something to him because of guys like me taking shots at him on the internet. But Day went on, though, and they asked him about, hey, what do you think and what are you telling your players about Spygate and Michigan football scandal and NCAA investigations and Jim Harbaugh suspended and Connor Stallions? He says, we learned a lot about what's going on in the last 2 years. I don't think there's any good to comment right now. There'll be a time and place for that. What matters is this game and getting our guys prepared to win. Let me tell you what. What's really interesting is I went back to the archives and I've kept every single video, every single article on Michigan, Connor Stallions, Spygate, Purdue, Rutgers, Ohio State's involvement, and I went back. I looked at this article from Ross Dellinger from October, I think it was October 20th of 2023, and in the article, it said an Ohio State staff member reached out and talked to Dellinger at Yahoo Sports in his big expose on Michigan football, October 20th, and they knew before the Michigan-Ohio State game in 2022 of the issue of Connor Stallions, of sign stealing. So they were basically trying to, inadvertently, they were kind of dogging themselves, but they were saying, oh, we knew about it. It's been going on for years. But you knew about it last year. And so you changed the signs against Michigan last year. The article said the Ohio State staff changed things up ahead of the game in 2022 to combat the signaling issue, one support staff member told Yahoo Sports. So those two statements conflict, right? If Ryan Day is going to say, we've learned a lot about it. It doesn't say anything, doesn't do any good to say anything about right now. There's a time and place for that. Well, what's the difference between this year and last year? It's in the media. What matters is this game. What matters is getting our guys prepared to win it. So Ryan Day wants to use Connor Stallions, the scandal that's unproven at this point, as an excuse. But just a month ago, his staffers were going behind his back to talk to Yahoo Sports, saying they knew about it last year. There's no excuse for Ohio State to lose at home last year by 22 points, 45-23. Ryan Day knows it, and he knows his job may be on the line coming up Saturday when Michigan beats Ohio State again for the third straight year. If you guys are watching live, well, of course you're watching live. We're only live right now. Give me some boasts in the comments. Let's see if we can wrap up today's show with 50 people commenting Bosa in 60 seconds. For every person who comments Bosa, that's 1 point that Michigan's going to score against Ohio State. Thomas Crawford, Yoder, your mind is incredible. Well, look, I mean, people have told me that in the past. I'm glad to see it there from Thomas Crawford. I appreciate that. Let's see if we can get 50 people to type Bosa in the live chat in the next minute. If you think about 50, back in 1968, Michigan was down in their DUPSA program. There was a 6-4 team going to play Ohio State in Columbus. Woody Hayes, national championship coach that season, 1968 national champions, went for two to make the final score 50-14. When asked after the game, Woody Hayes was asked, why did you go for two, Coach Hayes? And he said, because I couldn't go for three. I hope that's the kind of energy that Sharon Moore brings to the stadium on Saturday. What happened the next year, by the way? Michigan came back, a little way too much pride for Ohio State. Michigan the next year beat number 1 Ohio State 1969 with first-year head coach Bo Schembechler. Maybe Michigan can channel a little bit of both. Go for two because you can't go for three, and a first-time head coach in this rivalry in Sharon Moore gets a win to put Ryan Day out to pasture to lose his job potentially as Ohio State head coach. Go for two because you can't go for three. Let's get 50 Bosas to wrap up tonight's show. It is 9:10 p.m. Eastern. We'll have more content on the channel all week long. I'm going to put these two cuts up. We'll film another one on Wednesday. I'll do an at-home video on Friday night with the latest Michigan football injury report. I'm J.J. McCarthy. I'm Roman Wilson. Keep the Bosas going. I'll give a few shout-outs here. We got Snitty24, Ashley Lawson, David A. Rans. Thank you so much for the Bosas. We got another one from Ashley, Phil Batts, A-Train, Angela, Bill Graves, Andrew Allison. Got you on the helmet a couple times, Andrew. Thank you so much for the super chats and keeping the show rolling tonight. Thomas Crawford, Ryan crying. Ryan, your mind is not, I don't know what to fill in, but Ryan is crying. Turner says Bosa. Bill Graves, my man. Becky and Chad from Toledo, Ohio. They're even the Bosa. Zaire E. Eric Go Blue. John Blaze in the house. My guy, Houston or Bust. Eric Go Blue, A. Schraub, Aaron, Mike K. Giving the boasters in the live chat. That's how we're going to wrap it up. We appreciate everything. Channel your energy to everything focusing on beating Ohio State again this week. Hope you guys have a great Thanksgiving. Next time I see you live, might be after the Michigan-Ohio State game on Saturday. Until then, beat Ohio State again. Bosa, go blue.